Happy Friday, everybody. I am Chris Gore from Film Thread. It's our Friday Film Thread livecast. Happy you're spending your Friday morning or afternoon with us. I don't know. You could be in a different time zone. I'm going to assume some of you are in a different time zone. Get ready today for a lot of reviews of films opening in theaters this weekend, some really cool independent films, and an interview with the director of the Winona Ryder starring film Gone in the Night. This is a really cool indie thriller that you need to check out. We're going to talk to the director at the end of the show. We've also got some cool giveaways today. We're going to be giving away some codes, some digital codes for Minions: The Rise of Gru. So much to talk about. The chat is already on fire even before the show has started. I'm happy you're here today. Let's get the show going. Get ready with your best comments. Can't wait to chat with you all. Let's go. I am Chris Gore. This is my colleague Alan Ing, who's the editor-in-chief of Film Thread. Yeah, no, I'm bringing you on early. Let's go. Let's get this train started. Let's get going, man.
Oh, good segue there.
Oh my God. Okay, so I look. I'm pre-coffee. I usually get up at around 7 so that by 9 a.m. I am ready to go. And today is not that day. Today I slept in a little too late. So still, I'm going to probably have to have a coffee break, Alan. You're going to have to save me at some point here. But we have seen
I'm looking at the list. There's way too many movies.
There's way too many. We're going to be going through a bunch of these. There is some interesting news. We were talking about Batgirl on Wednesday, and I guess it leaked out that, and this is from Rolling Stone, that test audiences said it was like a bad episode of a TV show. So that's, I'm thinking they may have made the right decision when it comes to Batgirl. I'm just really curious, like what their, what the repercussions of this. I think it's still too early. The directors even came out and they made a statement, and I just think it's bad. I just think it's really bad. And Warner Brothers has always received a lot of criticism for their decisions, and this is like their best decision is to like not put something out. They're being praised for this decision. What are your thoughts, Alan?
Let's assume that's true. They saw it was bad and they're not putting it out. I mean, to me, that's hope. That just says that there's someone out there in the executive boardroom there that says, let's stop putting out crap and let's just hold it back. Let's stay true to storytelling and to the lore. And if this is true, you kind of have to admire them for doing that. And by being able to recognize that what you're doing is wrong and it's bad means that you're open to make things better.
Well, we've got a lot of movies to get through today. We're probably going to do reviews that are about 10, 15 minutes tops, just because we have so much to cover and we're kind of behind. We were supposed to review Prey on Wednesday because we'd seen it, but we just didn't have to. We ran out of time. So we're gonna get to Prey today. I promise you that, and we'll probably get into spoilers for Prey because it is out on it. And actually, I
don't think you'll care. I don't think you'll care.
Well, we'll see. I mean, actually, they released it a little early, like yesterday evening, like around like 8-9 o'clock. It was already on Hulu. So, but before we get to the chat, let's give them what they want. Let's just give them what they want. Look, if you're just listening to this show and you're not watching us live on YouTube or just watching it, we actually have continued to keep our live streams up. I think when we reach a certain threshold, we're not going to keep these live streams up. We're just going to cut the live streams into clips and we're going to privatize them. So only members can see them actually. Live streams will always be available for members, but you're really missing out on Alan. Alan, it's great. Alan's nipples are underrated, says Dempsey.
Absolutely.
John Manilang, let's stop putting out crap should be in every major studio meeting. Sure. Toxic Waltz NA, good to see you. I've been watching and enjoying the Korean Autistic Lawyer Show. I have been watching that also. Okay.
I've heard a lot of good things about this.
It's so good. I've been watching and enjoying the Korean Autistic Lawyer Show, Extraordinary Attorney Woo. You can all but guarantee there will be an American network version remake soon. I hope not. It's this Korean show. It's kind of a comedy, but it's this woman. Her name is Woo, and she's autistic, but she's sort of high functioning autistic. Like she can memorize books, right? Mm-hmm. She ends up becoming a lawyer. But she still has autism, and she just has trouble connecting to people. Yeah. She's very awkward. She can't read emotion all that well. And it's incredibly charming. She's obsessed with whales. And so the opening of the show, I've seen like the first 4 episodes. It's so good. And they're releasing it weekly, new episodes. So I don't know how many episodes are live now. I know the whole series hasn't run, but strong recommendation for that. We should talk about it next week, but Toxic Waltz N8, thank you for that. Shelby AC says, oh, sorry. Oh, no,
I'm just saying that, I like what we like about foreign content is they're not under this woke mandate.
Right. Well, I guarantee if they did a version of this with an autistic person in the United States, it would be incredibly woke. This isn't woke, but it does deal with social issues. In one of the episodes, a grown autistic man is accused of murder, and they go through a trial, and it's fascinating because they bring in Woo because she also has autism as a way to kind of connect with this. He has a very, very severe form of autism. He can barely communicate or speak. And that episode kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, wow, we're getting into some more seriousness in the show because it starts out kind of lighthearted. She's kind of, I hate to describe her this way, but she's kind of cute. She's really cute. She kind of walks in a funny way. She's awkward, but she's just very likable. So strong recommendation for that show. Shelby AC says, I agree with Alan on that. Glenuccio, thank you, Glenuccio, became a YouTube member. Mexican Iron Man is here. Okay, Mike, we need to talk. Mike. We need to chat like this weekend or next week. Mexican Iron Man for $19.99, dropping a quick hi, and shout out to say thank you for all the amazing coverage and reviews. You and Alan are my new entertainment tonight, mixed with Siskel and Ebert. Keep up the great work. Thank you for that. And then Easy Tiger says, Alan is so hot right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to argue that. Tony Montana says Bullet Train was the equivalent of a basketball team being down 25 points at the end of the first quarter, down by 3 by the end of the third, and losing by 25 at the end of the game. Wow.
Well, that's a
good description because I'm also mixed on Bullet Train. We'll get to it in a second. John Manilang, free the nipple Fridays. Rick T says, big time respect to WB for showing some restraint and understanding. If it's junk, it's junk. No need to dump junk on people.
So should they have released Morbius? That's
yeah. Well, Morbius was, I actually thought Morbius was, here's my review. People thought I gave Morbius a good review. I just said it wasn't as bad as people were saying. I didn't say it was good. I said it wasn't as bad as people were saying. And I was like, all right, well, I had a couple Trulies. I went in and I enjoyed it. It was a dumb vampire superhero movie. Womp Biscuits, considering the trailer, I'm not interested in seeing Bullet Train, but I will likely enjoy the review. There you go. And Super Duper Giles says Chris Gore X. Yeah, that's probably
that's your non-binary name.
That's my non-binary thing. Oh, we're gonna review They Them. I signed up for Peacock. A pro tip to everybody out here: Peacock is free. They have a free level, and you get ads. And I'm holy crap! So sign up for Peacock. It's free, and They Them opens today. It's on Peacock today. You just have to suffer through some ads. What's annoying about those ads for all the streaming services? I don't mind the ads. They show you the same ads, so it's like the same 30-second Geico spot. 5, and it'll tell you like 5. You're going to see 5 commercials. And it's all the same commercial. It's very stupid. So I don't mind the ads. I mind that they're stupid. But Dom Taco,
I think it's their supply of commercials. That's a part of it.
probably part of it. Dom Taco says Fridays are perfect for film threat hijinks. Ken Bogus says hi. And Shelby AC says, hey, film threat. Hey, chat neighbors. Salutations, everyone, says CD Stein 69. By the way, I slept in your shirt. I slept in your shirt of the last night. I should have worn it, but it's the nerd.
Oh, that's what you're wearing this morning.
Sync podcast. I actually very soft Squid Game inspired shirt. I'll show it to you later. Super Duper Giles says, agree. Same thing with Hulu ads. I would put up with way more ads if there was variety. Yeah. Alan is a known Brad Pitt shill, says the Alex Sorba. And I like this one. Epsony says Chris Gore, RRR. Yes, RRR actually coming back to theaters. It's playing at the Landmark. No, is it the Landmark? It's the Landmark or Lemley, one of those in North Hollywood. RRR.
Yeah, it shows up once in a while at the Free to Cinema.
Yeah.
I think they have it.
And Ken Bogus, what's with film threaders thirsting for, Alan? Happy Friday, everybody, says John.
I think that was a cue.
Hail from Scotland, says Easy Tigers. Hey, must be happy hour there, or at least time to go to the pub. And Daniel for 10, thank you, Film Thread. I took my mom to see Where the Crawdads Sing, and it was fantastic. See, not all these. You don't have to twist my arm sometimes to see some of these films. I begrudgingly went and then enjoyed the film. As a guy, I would never have considered it if it wasn't for Alan. Great story that kept us both riveted. Love that. Yeah. Hail chat and Chris Gore says Sifax, and also hail Alan. And Sahil says, I'm natural gas light. Wait, what does that stand for? NGL? Oh,
not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the trailer for Bullet Train was actually an advertisement for a train line app that's used to book tickets for journeys via rail. That's how bad the movie looked aesthetically. Well, we'll get into it. And last comment here before we jump in. Wait, two more comments before we jump into reviews. Toxic Walt N8 says, Beavis and Butthead returned to Paramount Plus yesterday with 2 episodes. It's pretty good, but I really missed their commentary on rock metal vids. Yeah, I'd like to see that show. I bet there's stuff on YouTube that people have posted. But now there are almost 200 people watching right now. So smash that like button and please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Actually, I would just say slap that subscribe button. Oh, wow. And if you do that, you subscribe to the channel, you can count on seeing stuff like this. Finish him. Oh, my jeans. Okay, real quick. Rec Films Montana. I've been cautiously looking forward to Prey. Maybe Morbid Curiosity. And CD Stein 69 for $9.99 says, sounds like WB isn't done with projects on the chopping block. Yeah, I think that Supergirl project is not going to happen. Luckily, that's only in development, so not a lot of money spent there. They paid a screenwriter couple $100,000 to write a script. That's probably what happened. Too bad Netflix didn't get the memo for Sandman that WB did for Batgirl. Through 3 episodes, good visuals, but seriously disappointed. And Mexican Iron Man is a new member. Thank you for that. Yes, join our become a member. You'll get exclusive videos, posts, and content, and we'll be doing our once a month member stream, which I can't wait to do that. And real quick, before we're going to pivot, folks. We're going to pivot to reviews. Satvik Madaneni. God, I'm so sorry. Satvik, thank you for your comment. Hey, Chris and Alan, if you are fans of RRR, here are some other Indian films you should watch on Netflix. Bahubali 1 and 2 and 3 Idiots. I am familiar with Bahubali 1 and 2 and 3 Idiots. It's great. Once you watch RRR, you get a lot of other recommendations for Indian films, which is awesome. And Korean. What's weird is I'm not really watching, other than Stranger Things, not really watching many of the English series on Netflix. It's mostly foreign stuff for me. So I don't know what your thoughts on that are, Alan, but
yeah, I'm just watching food shows on Netflix. We will have a review for Bahubali Part 1 on filmthread.com next week.
Nice. That's great.
I just got that review in.
Let's get into it. Bullet Train is here. The movie that you didn't know you needed or maybe you don't need. Brad Pitt plays an assassin who there's a woman in his ear. There's a woman in his ear. Some woman in a chair somewhere is helping him out. And he's on a mission to, of course, get a briefcase. There are lots of other assassins. They're after the briefcase. There are vendettas that are going to play out. There's Lemon and Tangerine, two twin assassins. They're not really twins. One is that guy from Eternals. The other one
Tyree
is,
Henry. Yeah.
Right. And then the other one is
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Who I didn't until the end of the movie. I'm like,
yeah,
that's him.
I didn't realize that was him either. And I'll be honest, he's the best character in the entire movie.
He's one of the best characters. I like Brad Pitt. He kind of takes us through this, but it's tons of cameos, including the character from The Boys. Her name escapes me. Alan, you have it up on your screen. She's in The Boys. You know, she plays the woman who brings the food cart around. In any case, let's get into it. The story is super simple. It's just these assassins one-upping each other, trying to stay alive, trying not to die, fighting in a lot of most of the movie is fighting in close quarters in sort of creative, like using a briefcase, using a knife, using a gun, but having to keep it quiet because you don't want people on the train to be alarmed. There's a quiet car where there's a discussion happening. Actually, you can see in the picture in the background, Brad Pitt's having a discussion, but they're in the quiet car. So they've got to be really quiet. I'm going full ASMR here. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going full ASMR. And that scene plays out. So what the film feels like, it feels like a graphic novel. I'm fairly certain this must have been based on some sort of comic book, a manga or whatever, but it definitely has that graphic novel feel. It's clever at times. It's grating at times. There are too many characters. After a while, do we have to introduce more new characters? You know, as the movie wraps up, you've got Michael Shannon comes in as a big bad near the end. And then there are two really good cameos that kind of made the audience gasp and laugh. So
really?
Well, maybe one of them laugh and then one maybe cringe. Can I just say that? One laugh and one cringe. But yeah, here's my problem with this thing is sort of a couple of major problems. One, there are too many characters, so it's hard to get invested, especially when they're getting killed off left and right. Second, you don't know, like, well, who am I following on this journey? Obviously, it's Brad Pitt. Second thing is the effects, the special effects are wildly, they're all over the map. There's stuff that's really cool, and there's stuff that looks like the team behind She-Hulk did the digital effects. I mean, in particular, at the end of the movie, this is not a surprise. The train crashes. I think that's in the trailer. Train crashes at the end. It's called Bullet Train. It's going to crash, right? And some of those effects look so cheap. It looked like a PS3 game. Like, it was just like, who are we hiring to do these effects? And how many hours were they overworked? Because clearly it's just that, like, some of the effects I don't mind, like, if you're consistent, like, fine, that's the style, right? But really good effects mixed with effects that are just sloppy really threw me off. So now look, was it fun? Yeah, it was fun. Is it dumb? It is super dumb. It is super dumb. So, but it's also like this movie's like 20 minutes too long, which is just sort of like, can it just, and I'm pretty sure that they cut a lot of characters down. You can just tell that maybe they had more for certain characters to do. What I did like about the film was a lot of the payoffs. There are payoffs with characters. There are payoffs with There's a Fiji water bottle that has its own journey. And you kind of get, this is where it begins to feel like a graphic novel, is the way that certain parts of the story are told. And you see this sort of journey of a Fiji bottle and kind of like how it begins and how it meets its end. And it's that part is very funny, but I feel like the movie would have been more powerful if it was just tighter.
Yeah.
So
it was a novel. It was based on a novel,
but it feels like it was a graphic novel.
Yeah,
like it's
very,
very comic book, very graphic novel, very much like, stuff that like you can see that certain moments would make like a great splash page.
Well, that was the stylistic tone of this movie.
Right.
I think it was trying to be a graphic novel, and
Yeah.
I don't think it worked. My feeling throughout this whole movie was, I should be loving this, but I'm not. I really should be awe-inspired, but I'm not. And I think part of it is there's a graphic novel style to it, but there's also this kind of a Guy Ritchie swagger that they're trying to emulate, and they can't do it. The issue here is you don't care about these people soon enough to buy into that swagger. They don't earn that swagger. And I think they try to buy it by just simply having Brad Pitt in the movie, and that he would bring a level of gravitas to it. And it just doesn't work. And so I'm kind of sitting there going, well, this is fun. There's a lot of good action, but I'm just not invested in anyone at the moment.
Right.
And then you mentioned the graphic novel feel to it. I felt like this movie would have been a million times better if it was either shot with an entirely Japanese cast with subtitles, or take the setting out of Japan and move it to like Chicago or New York, because I don't want to bring race into it, but I will, and I am. It takes place in Tokyo, but everyone except 3 characters are basically non-Asian. They're white, and it's kind of like they feel sort of out of place at that moment in this. I mean, I've never been on a bullet train in Tokyo, but I would imagine the Asian to non-Asian ratio is a lot higher in real life than it is here. I'm not saying that makes it a bad movie, or that they're culturally appropriating, but it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel authentic at all.
That part didn't bother me, but what it did, but it does.
Of course not.
But the thing that did sort of like, I mean, the graphic novel thing, you could see that it would just seemed like a little too much, like in your face. Like every character introduction, they had to have like a little like that sort of. And you're right, it was sort of Guy Ritchie wannabe is what it is. So at the end of the day, though, like, did I have fun? It's like, yeah. Will I see it again? Never. Would I recommend it? Mildly. Let's be real. Not a lot of big movies opening until maybe October. It's slim pickings for the next several months. But I will say this, not when it comes to indie films. Not when it comes to indie films. There's so much good indie stuff right now. So I would just say I would mildly recommend the film. Just a mild recommendation. Set your expectations low, and you'll probably have a decent time. Alan, what are your final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, if any of this sounds interesting to you, go see it. You'll probably have a good time, but don't expect anything overwhelming. Don't expect anything awe-inspiring. It's just an okay movie, and I think what my disappointment is it could have been much better than it was.
Right.
And I don't think they understood what they needed to do to make this better. The violence and the gore is there, but I don't feel like they pushed it far enough to.
Right.
I had to wince and turn my eyes at points, but it wasn't enough to make me, say, hey, you've got to see this movie.
Let's go to comments here. Retro Nerd Girl says Aaron Taylor Johnson plays a twin again. Yes, but the joke is they're not really twins. That's the joke. Yeah. So
honestly, that joke actually worked.
That joke worked. Their relationship is funny.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, honestly, is the best thing about this movie.
Yeah. Holy hand grenades, smoking aces on a train. That's basically what it is. Yeah. FP Sunny says, does it preach the message? Guess what? No. Nope, no message.
It's still
No
a Japanese story, and there's
so
no American wokeness in it.
Yeah, so on that, it's probably going to get an extra like recommend, right? Like maybe more. That's why it's sort of a mixed review for me. It's like, no, but there's stuff I kind of liked. It's not woke. It's fun. It's just not. Just parts of it are gonna be frustrating.
But I will say that I've heard already criticisms about the American cast in a Japanese story, and so
really, who cares?
Yeah, I know. I could care less about it.
Lubitsch touched me, says Gore ASMR. Womp Biscuit says, I do love Michael Shannon. Great in Iceman and Runaways. His General Zod was great too, says Womp Biscuits. He's good in this, but he's just like every performance is over the top, with the exception of Brad Pitt that kind of grounds it. But everyone else is sort of in a heightened version. They're all comic book characters.
He's like the assassin who's found a new lease on life and is very zen, or trying to be zen.
Right. He's sort of zen about things, but he has bad luck. Constantly bad luck is following him. Goober, as if Smokin' Aces and Deadpool had a baby who wasn't as talented as either parent.
Yeah,
I would say that's an apt description. Kicking Impossible. At least it's not another superhero movie and not focused on the message. At this point, B-movie schlock is refreshing. Hey, 100% on that comment, because that's what this is. Does Zazie Beetz have a decent role at least, says Spidey Sensei 72? She's in it briefly, and it's entertaining.
Yeah, there's meat to the role, but it's not very long.
It's not very long, but yeah, I like Zazie Beetz. Zax says, but Chris, talk about the important stuff. What percentage of the grips working on Bullet Train identified as BIPOC? I don't think anybody cares. So there you go, Zax. The Nerdy Ronin, great content as always, guys. Thanks again, Chris, for celebrities poop and autographing it for me. Oh, that's right. If you want to get free stuff, and I've got a limited supply now. I've been sending out. I just sent out another batch of because people are sending me self-addressed stamped envelopes. So you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Film Thread, 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California, 90036. Send me an envelope with stamps already on it. Put a lot of postage on it. I will fill it with free gifts. So the Nerdy Ronin, glad that package arrived.
By the way, going back to that last comment, the BIPOCs in the I can guarantee you that the Asians built the railroads.
Yes, that for sure. Not a lot of diversity on railroad production. The Bad Bandito says, Robert Lewis says, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist had a similar shtick with a piece of gum. Oh, interesting. Laugh my ass off, Fiji bottle character arc, says Holy Hand Grenades. That's true. It is. There's a character arc for the Fiji bottle. That's not a joke.
Yeah, but I felt like it was just there as a joke. It's a joke. It's a cheesy joke. They're forcing a connection, or they're forcing this kind of gag, and it was amusing and I liked it, but it's not that monumental.
Cool. Munchkin says, why is dumb Film Threat? John Wick isn't literature, but it's super fun. Yeah, that makes sense. I would say that it's, but this is just and John Wick, especially that last one, just went so over the top. You're like, how is he alive? He fell off a building. It just doesn't make sense. Is he in hell now? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this movie is there's nothing, the difference between it is you cared about John Wick from the beginning.
Right.
Especially after they killed his dog and his wife.
True.
So there's an emotional connection there. You don't get that. You just have Brad Pitt. You feel bad for him, and we're supposed to connect with him for some reason because of that.
Munchkin also goes on to say, does Sandra Bullock get used at all, or is she wasted? It's a cameo.
Yeah. She probably had fun that day.
She probably had fun the day she was on set. Exactly. Ken Bogus, I never liked Guy Ritchie. Always felt like he was trying to be an edgier Tarantino without the talent of Tarantino. Makes sense. And Fabio Barbanti become a new YouTube member. Thank you for that. Dempsey says, yes, having people of the wrong race for the area is a great way to take out the viewer's suspension of disbelief. I'm with Alan on this one. Amazon's Rings of Power, for example. Yellow Flash too says Bullet Train sucks. No, it's just okay. It's Yellow Flash. Thank you for watching. It's dumb. It's not one thing. Here's on the positive side. It's not woke, which is like a thing of with movies now is like this thing where just you go and you're like, oh my God, thank God a movie's not woke. Now can it just be a good movie? It's like,
Yeah.
it's not a Top
I mean,
Gun Maverick, let's say.
it's funny. I think we do recommend movies just on that fact that it's not woke, and so. But I will say midway through, I'm kind of like, okay, let's just get this story going. Let's move this along.
Exactly. Thanks, Yellow Flash. Always enjoy Yellow Flash's content. Subscribe to his channel. Dempsey says 250 watching. Get those likes up, people. Yes, please. We got 250 people watching. Please like. And Sandy Q for 5. Thank you for that. Says initial thoughts on Banshees of Inisherin. I love In Bruges, and the trailer for this new film looks amazing. Oh my gosh, Sandy, I have not seen this trailer. I've seen In Bruges. In Bruges is great. But I haven't seen Banshees of Inisherin.
I just saw the trailer yesterday.
And what are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it feels very much like In Bruges.
Oh, well, that's a good thing then.
Yeah.
Sandy,
I mean, years later.
Your comment.
Yeah.
Yellow Flash 2 says, I'll wait for streaming then. Well, Yellow Flash, I have the AMC A list. It's like $25 a month. I can see 3 movies a week. I love to go to the movies. And not wear a mask. So that's what I do. And because I don't have to. And so I go in and I'll just see whatever, because this industry is important to me. And I want to support films like Top Gun Maverick, which I saw several times. Okay. Fabio Barbantes became a new YouTube member. Thank you for that. CD Stein 69 says, Alan, as someone that has been on the bullet train to Tokyo, you're absolutely correct. It's about 1:30 ratio on the train. So it looked a little off. Yeah. I thought, it was weird because there's like that woman that's shushing them in the quiet train, and she's a old white lady.
I know. I like, how could they not find an old Asian lady to fill this role?
Nope, they can't.
Because even with the heavy accent, she could have said the lines.
We're going to put this on a t-shirt. And thank you. There are 3 people that have been sending me t-shirt designs. We haven't even announced this contest. And Glenn Brown, John Hawley, and Mason, I'm sorry, I forgot your last name, have sent amazing t-shirt designs. I'm going to have to show you them on Wednesday next week. But Zach says, quote, too many white people, close quote. That's Alan. Alan, that's your quote. Too many white people. In Bruges is coming out on 4K Blu-ray at the end of September. Can't wait, says John Manilang. And B Sparks 917. Hail, Alan and Chris and chat. My wife and I saw Bullet Train last night. It was fun, but nothing special. That's I think that the bottom line. It's fun, but it's not like it didn't stick with me. After I walked out of the theater, I forgot half the movie. It's one of those where you're like, there's so much action that nothing matters, because I mean, people that you think were killed actually did survive. And you're like, oh God, like that person should have died. It doesn't.
Yeah, but what did all the survivors have in common?
Well, yes. Oh shoot, Alan.
Yeah, maybe there was a woke moment. That was it.
Yeah, my wife and I saw Bullet Train last night. It was fun, but nothing special. I probably won't get it until it's on sale. Yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes I'll buy movies digital if they're like. Sometimes Vudu will have these specials like $4.99 or like 5 movies for $20. And I'll just like, these are ones I'd like to have in my collection because I'll watch them again. So yeah. Oh, by the way, we're going to be giving away digital codes for Minions: The Rise of Gru at the end of the show. We've got digital download codes from Fandango.
Yeah. And better than Vegas Supercuts.
Not the Batman says, yeah, filling the train, like Alan said, is odd. It would be like if Tarantino made all Yakuza and swordsmiths in Kill Bill into everyone not Japanese. Yeah, true.
I think you could make a comparison between this movie and Kill Bill. I think it was trying to be like Kill Bill and just fell far short from that.
And Fear the Turtle 21 for 5 says, a bit late to the chat, so apologies if I missed it. Any thoughts on Sandman? Have never read it, but the trailer has me interested. And oh my God, I feel really terrible because I have no thoughts. Other than my friends who say it looks cool, but they're cautious. I think we're all cautious just because like anything that looks good, but like the Andor trailer, it's like that looks cool, looks definitely better than Kenobi. It looks like a movie, but Disney Lucasfilm made it. And already the reports about they're comparing Andor to, they're saying it makes commentary on the Trump administration. I'm like, why are you doing that? That's never been a thing that's made anyone intrigued. Now, if there are ideas that are woven in, but as a way to market the movie and a way to speak about the series, a way to speak about the series is terrible. That turns me off. I don't want that. I don't want that kind of commentary. Like sort of general, maybe it's about the fall of the Roman Empire, the rise of the Roman Empire, whatever it is. Fine. Some to history, but modern, what's happening in our modern times. I don't know. Maybe leave that to indie movies. Yeah. But Fear the Turtle.
Well, I mean,
my apologies.
Why would they sabotage their show that way? That's my problem. We had good feelings going in. They put out a halfway decent trailer, and now they're going to ruin it. But they think that everyone hates Trump that bad.
Well, they need to coach these actors who are morons. They're basically
and the showrunners for that.
Some directors and filmmakers refer to actors as meat puppets because they're so dumb. But I have not the soundtrack. I don't know how I'm on a channel that I get a lot of soundtrack stuff, or I must subscribe. I subscribe to music soundtrack channels. What can I say? Movie soundtrack channels. Anyway, so it popped up. I will check it out, and I will have thoughts. Fear the Turtle. Deano for £5 says, which is better, Pitt on a train or Samuel L. Jackson on a plane? I'm going to be honest on this one. Pitt on a train is better than the Sam Jackson on a plane. Snakes on a plane, is
far better than Snakes on a Plane.
That might as well have been Snakes on a Plane. Might as well have been a Wild Eye Releasing movie.
Yeah,
which, by the way, Wild Eye Releasing we post, if you follow the Film Threat Instagram, we post like a lot of the videos that we show on during this show, the live stream. But we also post like weird movie posters. And a movie poster came out. I'll just show it to you. I'll just show you this movie poster. So this is like a taste of, if you follow our Instagram, if you follow the Film Threat Instagram, we do like this thing. Like, I love movie posters. I love just weird movie posters. I have a movie poster collection. I like to hang them up, and I don't know. There's just, especially like the ones that are weird. Like, have you ever seen the Polish poster for like The Empire Strikes Back or something like that? It's always really weird. But here's an actual poster for a film from a Wild Eye Releasing, and it's the poster. It says, "Don't fuck in the woods." 2. So that means there was a Don't Fuck in the Woods 1.
How did we miss Don't Fuck in the Woods?
Don't Fuck in the Woods 2 is coming out. But yeah, there you go. And John Manaling, Keanu in a bus, Pitt in a train, Samuel Jackson on a plane. Sounds like something Ted Geisel would have written. Dr. Seuss, folks. There you go. And Yellow Flash, too. Yellow Flash, what are you doing in my chat, man? He's a big star. He was at Anime Matsuri. We almost got to see what Yellow Flash looked like. Yellow Flash 2 says, I like that. Meat puppets are good names for most actors. Or as Gary Beekler says, adult pretenders, like that pile of trash Mark Ruffalo or Mark Hamill. It's weird how there's actors I really like that actor. And I actually met Mark Ruffalo 15 years ago. I think it was around 15 years ago at the Toronto Film Festival. He seemed like a really nice guy. You know, that guy had brain cancer and survived it. Kind of crazy. But when you look at the social media posts of people like Mark Ruffalo and Mark Hamill, it's sort of hard to it just makes you look at them differently. God, can you just
yeah. Well, for actors and filmmakers to hate half their audience and not think that they need them to continue their careers and support their careers is mind-boggling to me.
Actors need some sort of they need some coaching in social media. It's fine, have your own opinions about things, but to denigrate the audience is just how has that ever worked ever? It doesn't. Okay. And real quick before we get so your mileage may vary on Bullet Train. It's a mixed review. It's fun but dumb. You'll forget half the movie when you walk out of the theater, but it's not woke. So there you go.
If you want to spend 2 hours in a nice, cool theater and have a decent time,
yes,
this is a good movie to see.
Yes, the air conditioning and the non-woke film is an upside to this. Yellow Flash 2 goes on to say, Mark Ruffalo went to theater school, but he's an expert on nuclear power lately. I can't stand him. Yeah, I love that. There's a lot of things I just don't have an opinion on. Like Harlan Ellison, who I knew back in the 90s because he would call me and yell at me. I'll tell the story some other day. But Harlan Ellison, if you know who Harlan Ellison is, a brilliant novelist and writer, wrote what is arguably, everybody says, the greatest episode of the original Star Trek series, City on the Edge of Forever. Harlan Ellison said, there's a common phrase that people say, everyone has the right to their opinion. He doesn't agree with that. Harlan Ellison would tell you, you only have your right to an informed opinion. And there are a lot of opinions on social media of people that don't know what the F they're talking about. That's why I post so little on Twitter. I just don't like it. It's dumb people yelling at each other and trolling. Thomas Hart says, not all of Mark Ruffalo's brain survived.
I'm offended. I'm offended by this comment. It's horrible.
Well, there you go.
How dare you?
I do want to share something that yesterday that came out that I thought was really cool. I think we need to show this. Hey, it's been announced. Look at this. This is from Todd Phillips. From Todd Phillips' Instagram. He's announcing Joker 2. So this is his announcement. It's coming out October 4th, 2024, which is, I believe, it's the same date as the first Joker. So it's the same release date, the October 24th. And it's supposed to be a musical. I think this is brilliant. I think it's going to be Scorsese inspired, New York, New York. It's going to be freaking weird. It's going to be in his head. It's going to be, a deep dive into mental illness. I think it's awesome. And can't wait for Joker 2. Cannot wait. And that
what was the date on that again?
October 4th, 2020.
Yeah, the first one came out September 28th.
Sorry, October 4th.
Yeah, first one came out September 28th.
September 28th? You sure about that? Well, it's like almost exactly.
I'm looking at that's what IMDb is reporting.
Fine, Alan. Correct me when it comes to facts.
Sorry, you got it wrong.
How dare you? No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Alan. But yeah, it's I think I can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be amazing. And can't wait. I think Todd Phillips is a great filmmaker. It's unfortunate he's unable to make comedies anymore because of the way the world is today. But we're going to talk about, there's a very good comedy that we're going to talk about later in the show. Let's go to comments real quick, but boy, we are behind. Nope. We're not going to go to comments. Jack D, real quick comments. Jack D Ripper says actors should be treated like cattle. Hitchcock, I might agree with that one. Yeah. Zach
and I think you did treat them like that too.
Zach says this looks interesting. Folle Dieu is a cool concept. So yeah, I love it. I think my prediction is it's going to premiere at the Toronto Film Festival, which Alan may or may not be going to.
I may or may not.
Yeah, there you go. But let's switch gears to Bodies. It is out today also. One of the films that is also out today. Alan, did you see Bodies?
Nope. Almost did, but
good. Did. Well, I am going to save you time and money. This is one of the worst films of the year. Okay. And I've spoken to a friend who said, you can't really give that movie a bad review because, woman writer director. I don't care. My standards goes for everybody. I don't care. You're all equal here. Merit-based reviews here at Film Threat. I'll only give a little leeway when it comes to smaller indie movies. Okay. I do. I'll admit bias for that. But Bodies is a bunch of rich assholes who go to spend time at their mansion. They're all trust fund kids. So they're already the most unlikable characters you could all possibly meet. All rich kids. They're staying at Pete Davidson's dad's mansion during a hurricane for fun, to kind of just hang out and drink and do drugs. They do cocaine, they do all sorts of drugs and whatever. And it starts out with a couple. There's a lesbian couple at the beginning, and it's just sort of gratuitous making out. And it's sort of, I don't know. I just thought it just went on a little too long. It was sort of like, oh, you don't like this, right? We're just going to keep showing it to you. So there's this like incredibly gratuitous makeout scene at the beginning, and it's not hot at all. Let me just say that it's not hot in the least. And it stars Pete Davidson, Lee Pace, other people I've never heard of, and the girl from Borat. So there you go. Alan will correct me on the cast. The least you can contribute to this review, Alan, is telling me who are the actors other than Pete Davidson and Lee Pace.
I don't know. You were there. I mean,
in any case, after this extended makeout scene, they go to the pool and they're drinking, and there's some confusion about you can't really bring guests to this, whatever. And they're doing drugs, and there's not a likable character in this movie, with the exception of maybe Lee Pace, who's kind of this stoner guy that was like a Tinder hookup. This girl's kind of known this guy for just a couple weeks, which is not, you've only known this guy a couple weeks. Why'd you bring him? And he's sort of a hippie dude. But what's funny is people are going to ask, this movie wants to be a horror movie. It's not really a horror movie. There's a horror element to it. And if you want, I can ruin the movie for you. This is basically, we're going to get to it at the very end. I'm going to ask, okay. This movie is basically a short film, kind of a clever short film that got extended out into a feature, and it's freaking insufferable. It's insufferable. I mean, it's like 90 minutes and feels like 2.5 hours. What's interesting about it is, your question is the movie woke, right? Based on the characters. Here's what's interesting about it. There's wokeness in the movie, but you're laughing at it. Like one of the characters says, regarding Lee Pace's character, says, like, who is this guy? He's an asshole, blah, 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 blah. And then they check his social media feed, and they're like, okay, his politics check out. Like, he's cool because he's down with politics. That got a laugh. This is like a Gen Z horror movie, and they're just as insufferable as you think all of spending time with a bunch of woke Gen Z people would be. They're annoying as fuck. But not just that, they're all rich. So all of them, they're talking about their money. And one of like the insults is, you're not rich, you're upper middle class. So that gets a laugh. There's all sorts of like jokes that they're not jokes. What they're doing is they're just speaking of like how, I guess, woke people would try to out woke each other. And that becomes funny because we all realize how stupid that is. Is it entertaining? No, it's fucking insufferable. So what happens is, this is not, I mean, I could get into spoilers, but I want to see if people want to hear spoilers. I'll just say that this was freaking insufferable. Worst film I've seen this year. Worst film that A24 has ever released. Worst film A24 has ever released. My feeling is the only reason this movie was released was because of Pete Davidson being in the movie. Thankfully, he's not in the movie long. Read into that what you will. But I just feel like this movie was doing a favor for some director that is also comes from money. I see this a lot. Okay. So I was going to the Sundance Film Festival since the 90s. I no longer go there. But naively, when I was younger, going to the Sundance Film Festival in the 90s, I'm like, wow, all these filmmakers, it's so inspiring. They charged their credit cards, they worked hard, and they made their little indie movies. They, like Kevin Smith, who sold his comic book collection and put money on credit cards to finish Clerks. And who came from, middle class. Kevin Smith, true. Middle class dude, worked his ass off, went to film school, made friends there, sold his comic book collection, put money on credit cards, and he made Clerks, and it went to Sundance, and it sold to Harvey Weinstein with a contract written on a cocktail napkin. That's a true story. And you can see a documentary about all of that called The Snowball Effect. Check that out. So I naively go to Sundance thinking everybody's like Kevin Smith. Everybody's a Kevin Smith, or someone who struggled, or someone like a Sarah Jacobson, a filmmaker who made a movie called I Was a Teenage Serial Killer, among others. like who just worked and made it. But I come to find out years later that like, nah, it's just all rich kids. 90% plus of everyone at Sundance are elites and rich kids who are doing favors for each other. That's what Sundance is. That's what it is. And there is the occasional sneaking through, like an Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick, who did the movie The Blair Witch Project, which played the midnight show at the Egyptian Theater. And, you know, so you'll see an occasional filmmaker squeak through who's just a struggling middle class or lower middle class person who just freaking did it. But most of it is rich kids. And they're just as fucking annoying as you would see in a John Hughes movie. That's what this is all the, imagine all the unlikable rich kid characters from a John Hughes film in a movie. You want them all to die. So I fucking hated this movie because the characters are so unlikable. I cannot recommend that you see, I can't, you need to just avoid this movie at all costs. And I would have like, yeah, thank you, Retro Nerd Girl. Preach, Chris. It's just insufferable. It does have one of the actresses I really like. What's her name? She's from a movie that's very good called Shiva Baby.
Rachel.
Recommendation for you. See a movie called Shiva Baby. Also, female director, by the way, which is a great film. It's an incredibly uncomfortable comedy about a young girl who is having an affair and goes to a Shiva and then runs into the man she's having an affair with his wife and young daughter, and has to kind of get through the Shiva with this fact kind of rolling in her head. And the movie's like 80 minutes and it's freaking great. Really great film. And the lead actress of Shiva Baby, what's her name, Alan?
Rachel Sennett.
Rachel Sennett, phenomenal. She's actually, to me, the best part of this. She's the least annoying of these characters. But if you want to see a movie where the characters are incredibly unlikable, like horribly unlikable. Wait, I might have to show a video here. I got to show a video. This is me ranting about a movie. I have this video somewhere. Where's this video? I may have to change the branding here. Just for a second. If I can find this. Yeah, listen. This is a rant I did in a movie I freaking hated. I hated Bodies more than this movie. They say, write what you know. And this person obviously just is person.
Well, there's like
team
5
of writers are really on their fucking phones a lot, which is why this generation of writers fucking sucks balls.
They knew puerile games.
What? I'm angry. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I know that they did a lot of meetings and a lot of energy went into this, and everyone should be fucking ashamed who worked on this film. You could have actually done something that matters. There's no reason for you to have made this movie. You wasted so much fucking time. And no, I'm angry because this is what we get now, and I know how it's such bullshit. And the fact that like everything, looking at the computer, we're doing this, we're looking at our cell phones throughout the movie, it was ridiculous, which is why that got the biggest laugh. It's because it called out the movie for being as shitty as it was.
Yeah. You know what?
I fucking hate this film. If you don't, Norm, you're going to review it, right, on the site?
Yeah.
Yep. If you give it more than a zero, this needs to tank on fucking Rotten Tomatoes.
No, this is definitely one of the worst films I've seen this year.
So that was,
This
was in 2018 from a podcast we did. And we were talking about the movie Truth or Dare. So Bodies is worse than this. And I will say this, there is one clever thing in the movie that I genuine laugh from me. It's the very end of the movie. And I want to spoil it, but only if the chat wants me to spoil the movie. I will spoil the ending of this movie. Only if you say that you would like me to do so. Before that, let's get to the comments here.
Actually, let me ask you one question.
Please.
I feel like the problem with Gen Z films these days is this. It's like a joke. It's all set up, but no punchline. And that somehow the youth of the young generation feels like there's comedy in the setup and that the setup is funny, but there's no payoff to it. And I feel like maybe that's what at play here.
There is the payoff to the film I thought was really good, but it would be good if it was a short film. When I tell you what it is, it's going to make you fucking mad. Okay. So, Holy Hand Grenade says Chris talking truth. Jack D. Ripper says Pete's death in Suicide Squad was great though. Yeah, well, there you go. Retro Nerd Girl, always love to have you here. Bodies was insufferable is a quote from me. There you go. Thank you. Holy Hand Grenades, hold up. He dies. I'm going to watch just for that scene. Yes. Well, I'm ruining it. He died. I mean, a lot of people die in this movie. The way he does is very clever. Holy Hand Grenades, well, no one is going to watch it, so just tell us. Akanika says Chris's use of the word insufferable. It's insufferable.
There's irony there, yeah.
Jinx, how is Pete Davidson getting movies? He is never funny or good looking.
How's he getting girls for the...
Yeah, there you go. Pete Davidson is in it. Pretty sure it's already ruined, says Cyfax. Shelby AC, I already hate all these characters just from your description. Easy Tigers, another crap woke movie. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a woke movie. I'd say it's a movie with characters who are woke. The movie does make fun of them being woke. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't necessarily say the movie is woke. The characters in the movie are woke. And the biggest laughs in the movie come from the woke characters trying to out-woke each other. Does that make sense? Flaccid Phoenix says, can't wait for the Allen remake of the movie Nipples. It's coming. CD Stein 69 for $4.99. Chris, it's like your clip took my thoughts right out of my head, which could have been applied to most of these newer Gen Z movies. Pop says Bodies Cubed sounds like a hate watch gold. Yeah, it's definitely hate watch, but it's kind of boring. Tumbleweeds, nobody's going to watch Bodies. Love that. Munchkin says Bodies says 96% critics and 86% audience score. What are they missing? Yeah, not for fucking me. I walked out of there, and my friend Eric Weber, by the way, does a show called Midnight Movie Talk. Mostly he talks about box office. Subscribe to Eric Weber's YouTube channel, by the way. He's trying to get monetized, and he's trying to get monetized on YouTube, and he's closing in on 1,000 subscribers. So help him out. So everyone wants me to spoil it. So I will, after I get through these comments. I won't watch anything Pete Davidson, says Ken Bogus. CD Stein 69. Am I the only one that thought the Joker was meh? As a study in mental illness, it was a good movie, but it felt like it was just riding the coattails of being a Batman character just to get people in the seats. That didn't bother me. It felt like The King of Comedy, which is one of my favorite Martin Scorsese movies that nobody remembers. And it had that aspect of it. Robert De Niro as Rupert. Rupert Pupkin. Rupert Pupkin, I think is his name.
I think so.
Yeah. So
honestly, it was the ending monologue that kind of like, really? That's how we're ending. Okay. Go.
He says, let the bodies hit the floor. Okay, we're gonna do it. Last warning, no enthusiasm from me due to Lady Gaga, but I'll still give it a chance. That's Holy Hand Grenades talking about Joker there. Okay, so we're done with the comments. Let's do this. We're spoiling bodies. Okay, so if you don't want to, and then sub to Eric Weber right here. Just go to Eric Weber Edition. That's his show is Midnight Movie Talk. Let's get him up to 1,000 subs because I want to see Eric get monetized so I can send him a super chat and force him to see RRR. All right, now, warnings have been said. Everyone in the chat, I'm about to ruin the ending of Bodies. But here's the setup. So as you see in the trailer, they play a game called Bodies. What are the rules for this game? You reach in a hat. They rip up pieces of paper. One of the pieces of paper has an X on it. And the X means that you're the murderer. So what they do is they turn off all the lights. And if you're the murderer, you have to go and tag somebody. If you are tagged, you are then murdered and you have to lay on the ground and play dead, right? So they start playing this game, Bodies. Someone is the murderer, the lights go out, there's a body, but it's someone pretending to be dead. And that's how the game is played. It's just a dumb, it's a dumb party game when you're drunk, whatever. Well, as they're playing this game, they can't find Pete Davidson's character. They look outside as they're playing this game, and he's slit his throat. He's bleeding profusely and dying and falls dead. So there's a real murderer among them. And they spend the entire movie, there's distrust, there are accusations, they start like other people get killed from trying to protect themselves. And I skipped over something. What happened earlier in the movie is Lee Pace's character did this really cool thing where he took Pete Davidson's sword. He took his sword and took a champagne bottle and went boom and opened the champagne bottle. And it was like effortless for him. He's a cool guy. And Pete Davidson is sort of feels threatened by Lee Pace's character, who's kind of this cool dude who's like taking this real sword. He's popping open the champagne. Well, there's all this mistrust. The whole movie, they're like, you know, they don't know who the killer is, whatever. Come to find out, they find Pete Davidson's phone and they look at his phone, and he was in the middle of making a TikTok video where he's trying to use the sword to open the champagne, and he takes the sword and starts going like this, and he slits his own throat and dies. So Pete Davidson's character died making a TikTok video. They find the video at the very end of the movie and realize there was no killer. It was just an accident. And all this sort of paranoia and mistrust came from them seeing his dead body, which was self-inflicted.
So you just sold the movie. That's an interesting.
And I love there was like, that's the one redeemable thing in this movie is that like, oh, someone died making a stupid TikTok video. And also people have died taking selfies. This is a thing. I don't know if you are familiar with a thing called the Darwin Awards, but you need to just look up the Darwin Awards and its stupid ways that people have died. Really dumb ways, like stupid ways. One of my favorite Darwin Awards is a guy, normally it's people die, but a guy actually physically took his testicles, put them in a golf ball washer, and it ripped his testicles off. Now, technically he didn't die, but he's incapable of procreating. So it was sort of an honorary Darwin Award. But you think it's a funny premise. Patrick Lemire coming in. That's a funny premise. It is. It's clever, but getting there is so insufferable. And it feels like this would have made a better short film. It doesn't have the meat. It doesn't have the meat for a feature, is what I'm going to say. Rec Films Montana says, okay, kind of clever. I thought it was clever. Mob 19001, Pete's like Sean Bean in most of his movies, but not missed. Creed Bratton did it, says Patrick Lemire. So there you go. That's what happens at the end of the movie. Does it redeem the movie for me? No, I thought the movie was fucking awful. And one of the worst of the year. So I don't know what they attribute the audience score to. I think a lot of that can be depending on who you send it to, but yeah, not a fan.
Maybe it's the ending. I mean, honestly, the way you told the story is like, well, this is I'd be interested in seeing this, but
really?
Well, based solely on the way you described the ending.
Well, if you've got an A-list subscription, to AMC, you can see it. It's not going to cost you any additional money. Fine, go see it. But that's all I have to say about Bodies is I hated it. Eric, and I was just like, am I the only one that hated this? Like Eric hated it. So I'm in good company with that. Let's get to Prey. Let's discuss Prey on Hulu. And so we can calm things down a bit. Prey is now on Hulu. This is the prequel to Predator, not necessarily a direct prequel. It's a prequel in the sense that it's set earlier in the timeline. So
they're promoting it as the origin story, and I don't think it's that at all.
It's definitely not the origin story. It's set in 1719 in the Americas somewhere, right? There's French colonials coming over, fur trappers or whatever. It's this Comanche tribe, and a young girl who wants to prove herself and become a hunter is confronted with dealing with a predator that I believe is dropped off on Earth. It's interesting because you see the predator ship at the beginning of the movie just drop off the predator. The ship doesn't land. The predator is merely dropped off in the midst of, the tribal lands, right, of the Comanches, and takes on this. This is a young predator also trying to prove itself by killing off prey, right? The whole thing is the hunter hunting the hunter being hunted, right?
Mhm.
And so it's the, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
In any case, what's the character's name? Is it Naru or
Naru?
Naru? Yeah. So and the one thing that people have pointed out, like, and I think the movie would have been better with this before we get into the story aspects. Why didn't they just do this all in Comanche?
Yeah, you know, that's one of my big points.
It's and the thing is they're sort of varying. Some of the other actors, I think all the actors in the movie are better than this girl. I don't know who this actress is, the lead actress. She just doesn't have the weight, and she talks like any random girl I would meet in Burbank, California. Okay. And it kind of takes you out of it, at least like affect an accent or try to like speak in. People didn't, even people that spoke English back then didn't speak it this way.
Yeah, let's be clear. Everyone in this movie,
terrible.
Everyone in this movie has a perfect American accent. Perfect American English.
It doesn't make sense. At least come up with like, I mean, this is what, you know, one of the positives of Black Panther. Also, 350 people watching. Please smash that like button. Thank you. This is what I like about Black Panther is there is a Wakandan accent. It's part of the world building of Wakanda, the social structure, the like how they speak, sound, all that stuff matters. And with this, I just felt like these were people cosplaying as Indians, you know? So there you go. It just that part really took me out of it. One thing, so it's her story being confronted by this predator in the midst of these French colonial fur trappers, you know, and having to deal with that along with other predators in, you know, coyotes, eagles, bears. That stuff really works. The stuff with the predator by itself taking on like a bear, that was a cool scene. I think the one thing that I would say on the positive side for Prey, the action's pretty good given the premise.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I thought the action, I think it even rivals the original movies, the first two. The action is really good in this movie. The effects, I just saw Predator 2, and the effects in this movie far exceed Predator 2.
Yeah, there's some clever stuff knowing, like, you know, you've just got primitive, you've got like old style musket rifles, right? That got to be like, you've got to, there's a whole process with, you know, you're not just like, there's no automatic weapons back then, right? But she uses axes, these axes that have ropes on them. I just think it's again one of those things, the typical narrative of she's great, she's awesome,
she's marginalized.
She's marginalized, and she's even more awesome at the end. And it's just, you just kind of roll your eyes because it's like no struggle. Yeah. I watched this at the, you know, the same day I watched Prey. I also watched the movie Not Okay. Have you seen the movie Not Okay?
I have not seen Not Okay.
Okay. It's really good. It starts with this trigger warning of this movie features an unlikable female protagonist. That's literally the trigger warning at the beginning of the movie. Unlikable female protagonist. I actually, we'll talk about Not Okay like next week sometime. Yeah. It's currently, I believe that is also on Hulu. So I would pair watching Prey with watching Not Okay, because in Not Okay, this girl she's an asshole. She's a horrible human being. And she, you know, she goes through a journey where she learns lessons. She learns to be less of a horrible person and maybe take a look at herself and look at like her, you know, out of whack values, right? Like she just values social media validation over real morality. Yeah. And that's a really interesting story.
Yeah. Movies used to have character arcs, you know, where a character changes over the course of the movie and the events force them to confront their weaknesses and become better people on the other side. That's what movies used to do. Right.
Well, Prey just, I don't know. I just, the thing that just made it annoying was the girl is awesome and just becomes more awesome because she's going to beat the predator. She's going to come up with a way to beat the predator somehow. She's going to beat the predator and whatnot. I'll say this, you know, that put that aside. I'm mixed on it because I can't stand that typical female character arc, right? That character arc is so annoying. Alan, what did you think about
Yeah.
that? I feel like that
So-
was like that, and also the dialogue and the sort of like everyone just talks like they're from Burbank, California.
Yeah. So I had the fortune to be challenged to watch the first 2 Predator movies before seeing this.
Good.
And so I have a lot of thoughts, but here's the thing that struck me the most about this version of the Predator. Predator 1. It was the Predator versus Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
Predator 2, Predator versus Danny Glover and the entire LAPD. And then you have Alien versus Predator. To me, the Predator series has been this contest of champions. You know, the aliens bring their best hunter to go against our best hunter, and we see this play out. And where this movie falls short is, well, Naru is not exactly the Earth's greatest champion. And I think that was always the attraction of the Predator movies, of our heroes, of our action stars going up against an formidable foe and being pushed to their limits. And this becomes basically a kid's tale, which makes me believe that this was better off as a direct to Hulu or a direct to Disney Plus.
No, I actually could see this movie being released in theaters.
Yeah, but it's the draw of it. The whole point of the Predator series was this contest of champions, and you've completely eliminated that. I think if what they should have done was find a female actor, Gina Carano. Let's put Gina Carano in this role and have her go up against the Predator.
Well, that's way more believable. I just after a while I just thought, well, this Predator must not be very good at being a predator. And
I'll also say that, you brought it up. I think it was a huge mistake not shooting not having the dialogue in Comanche.
It should have been Comanche. I actually own a standard def DVD of Star Wars, the original Star Wars, A New Hope, translated into Navajo. It's one of the only mainstream Hollywood movies that they ever did that, which I think is pretty cool. But it's that would have been more authentic, is just have the movie subtitled. It would have put you in that world better. And also having her lose a bit and fail more. She's just too lucky and too good. And that kind of, it does, I'm sorry, it does ruin films. It does look at like, and I think it does a disservice to the whole, all protagonists need to struggle. Male, female, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. Struggle, and the lessons you learn from struggle, those are important. When you have characters that just don't struggle and everything comes easy to them, or they're just super lucky, it's like one of my favorite Looney Tunes where Bugs Bunny is walking on a construction site. He's sleepwalking and doesn't fall. He's just completely, that's what the movie is. Yeah. And first of all, it's a great I'm a Looney Tunes guy. Screw Disney cartoons. I watch Looney Tunes. There's violence. There's guns. Looney Tunes are the best cartoons.
Even as a kid, I knew the difference between Looney Tunes and Mickey Mouse cartoons, and Looney Tunes were clearly the better ones.
The Looney Tunes were better. The Mickey Mouse ones were just so gentrified and milquetoast. I never liked them. I always liked Looney Tunes. There's like dynamite and people fall, and it's cartoon violence, so nobody gets hurt, but you're blowing things up with dynamite. I love it. I love more violence.
Naru's weakness is she's marginalized, Right. And then they do the thing that I hate most in action movies. She steps in a bear trap. She has to get the trap off. Her leg should be broken at this point, but it's perfectly fine afterwards. And she's able to defeat the Predator. Well, maybe defeat the Predator. Don't want to spoil it. And she should have at least the weakness of a broken leg at that point.
Well, let's get to the comments here. But my review of this is mixed. Action is fantastic. The concept is I think a good concept, not well executed, and a typical female protagonist that, yay! And Jinx says it best. Pray Skywalker.
The thing is, they never should have made this a Predator movie. It should have just been a girl up against an alien, and not bring the franchise into it.
Says, did Chris just say "Not Okay" was really good? No, I didn't. It's good in the sense that it's a female character that is freaking loathsome and awful and learns a lesson, and it stands in contrast to all movies about female protagonists. Does that make sense, Pops? And I would recommend it. And it's also like stupid, it gets stupid woke at the end, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Really annoying. But like yeah. Holy
Well, you colonizers did it to yourself. So
yeah, exactly. Holy Hand Grenade says, is she terrible like Mimi from Psycho Gorman? Mimi stays horrible, but she's badass. You talking about not okay? I'm not sure. Sorry.
That's what happens when you bring two movies into a review.
Didn't Batman fight predators in the comics? Says Mob 1901. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Aid Robertson for 449 says they managed to shoehorn in Raphael Adolini's flintlock musket from Predator 2. True.
Oh,
Want Biscuits. Want Biscuit says Predator is a case study in how to make a good villain. Just one villain, build him or her up to be indestructible. Then, like Alan said, have Carano go up against it, not multiple villains.
Yeah.
Patrick Lemire says this Predator was a TikToker on his planet. Lubitch touched me, says real smooth on not spoiling that, Alan. Hello. Shelby AC, whatever happened to training?
Okay, she dies. All right. I spoiled it.
There is a training montage, but even in the training montage, she does everything right.
Yeah.
Like there is a training montage where she's kind of playing with these axes with ropes on them. And it's like, she never misses. And I just looked at that and I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I just look at how often like Luke failed in the original trilogy. You know, that's part of what makes it great when he succeeds. And in choosing not to fight, that's how Luke succeeds at the end of Return of the Jedi. It's a whole
or remember he had to wear the helmet against the droid, the training bot. You know,
where are you going with that, Alan?
No, I'm going, you know, he had to fail in the training in order to get better. And by taking away his sight, he became better.
Yeah. The Alex Zorba says Hollywood is creatively bankrupt. End of story. Zach says, I knew the Predator was a filthy colonizer. Ex Douchey McDouchek says, definitely going to watch the Comanche version. I would like to see it. And they should have, maybe what they should have done is offered like with anime, there could have been a subbed or dubbed version. And I would have gone for the subbed version because I think it brings you more into the world. I think that would have been really cool. I heard the bear was the best actor in this movie, says Mob 1901. Yeah, the bear scene is actually pretty cool. Apocalypto shows how to do an incredible indigenous film, says Shauna Bass. Yeah, thank you for that. Fusa Jonassi for 5 says, no one respects you, Chris. We used to adore you, but you're a fungus fan. Growing from negativity. You are the face now, right-wing fandom menace. Really? Is that what you think? You must not be watching me or listening to me, or the fact that I've been doing this for 30 fucking years. So no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. I think I'm positive or negative. Depends on the situation. Depends on the movie. So sorry, maybe don't watch the channel and fuck off. Immortal Remus says, I would have preferred a feature-length adaptation of the fan short film Predator Dark Ages. Oh, that's true. Mark Lursith says a female hunter in the Comanche tribe. Yes, it doesn't make any sense. She's pushing away her traditional gender roles. So
yeah, even back then.
I've heard mixed things on Prey, says Holy Hand Grenades. Mixed. Look, there's stuff to, there's stuff to love. There's stuff to love in it. And there's also stuff to not. It's typical. It's mixed. Jack D. Ripper, eat, pray, love. Mel Gibson has entered the chat. There you go. Let's pivot. And so that's the bottom line on Prey is your mileage may vary. If you've already got Hulu, stay for the action scenes, but pass on the rest. Alan, let's talk about Easter Sunday. It's a movie that I have not seen.
Yes.
And you have. So
yeah. Tell
me about Easter Sunday, Alan.
Well, just funny story. When I went to see Bullet Train last night, there's a lobby full of Asians. It's like, oh, all the Asians in my town are out to see a movie. For sure, I thought they were going to go see Bullet Train, but no, they're all there to see Easter Sunday. This is directed by Joe Coy. I think he directed it. And let's just say this: he's Filipino. This is a Filipino film. This is a comedy about Filipino culture, Filipino family culture. And that's essentially what the story is. Joe Coy is a comedian who became nationally known because of a beer commercial he was in. He has his own catchphrase. But that money's running out, and he's been supporting his family. One particular cousin who's kind of getting into some nefarious deals. He helped front him some money for a business venture. He's on the precipice of getting a television show as a Filipino sidekick with an accent, which he's starting to fight. And so while he's been traveling the world, becoming famous, doing stand-up, he separated from his wife, divorced. He has a son who barely sees him, and it's Easter. And on this particular Easter, he's going to take his son. They're going to go on a road trip to his mother's house to visit the family. They live in LA. They live in Northern California. But all at the same time, his agent is pressuring him to get in touch with these the TV people and really work to get this job. But he's fighting against the whole accent thing. So essentially at this point, it's all about him reconnecting with his son. There's kind of a mob element to it with the cousin who's doing some dirty business dealings. But it's all about family, all about Filipino family culture, all about Filipino food. And it's just one of these comedies. And, I have Filipino friends. I appreciate the culture. I've worked with them. I love their food. And this is what that movie is. It's basically an introduction to their culture, to the Filipino culture. And there's a lot of jokes, a lot of inside jokes. And me personally, I do like watching movies about cultures that I'm not familiar with and want to get to know. But that said, it's pretty much your standard comedian's comedy. So the plot line's fairly, over the top. And, they just bring in a lot of inside jokes here.
It's directed by Jay Chandrasekhar from Broken Lizard comedy troupe. So, so
it's got that sensibility, that Broken Lizard sensibility.
Is it? I mean, is it funny?
It is funny at points. I think, it's a very lighthearted movie. And I definitely laughed out loud. And a lot of it had to do with a lot of the cultural stuff.
Right.
There's a whole discussion about how they're always being compared to Mexicans. And, and then there's the, Lou Diamond Phillips is in the movie and he plays himself. And, he expresses a little frustration as to having never played a Filipino in a movie, but he's played everything else. And I was in an audience. I was at the world premiere. Audience was large Filipino contingent. And when people appeared on screen, a huge scream from the crowd of actors that I have no idea who they are. I think there's a lot of energy in that room because, the movie played to the crowd and the crowd understood, their culture and how it's superior than American culture and how they celebrate that. And, I've certainly seen Chinese films do the exact same thing. I'm in on the joke. I had a good time. And I just wonder, how broad this movie will play. And I feel like, it's not going to play broad like Crazy Rich Asians did. But, if you're a fan of Joe Coy, if you want to learn more about the Filipino culture, this is a good movie to see. It's lighthearted fun. I think it's a very, if this interests you at all, go see it. But I can see a lot of people passing on it as well.
Cool. All right, let's go to the comments here. FP Sunny says, excuse me, Alan, it's Filipinx. So, there you go. And Pop says, so Alan, Easter Sunday equals Ms. Marvel for Filipino adults? Yeah. And let's see.
If you remove the superhero stuff, I mean, quite frankly, Ms. Marvel, the best part of it was her family and the culture.
And Anonymous says, I used to have a big crush on Tia Carrera back in the day. Yeah. Jackie Ripper says, Joe Coy's entire stand-up routine is, I'm Filipino. I don't think you're wrong. I've watched his stand-up. I don't think I've gotten through one of his whole specials just because it's so inside. Mm-hmm. It's not like, to me, like Russell Peters. I don't know if you know Russell Peters.
Yeah.
I really like Russell Peters, and he just makes fun of everybody. Makes fun of himself. Makes fun of white people, he just makes fun of everything. All of his comedy is racially based, and it's pretty funny. Russell P.
I mean,
But I
this
tried to
movie
watch.
definitely his act.
Okay, Jack D. Ripper says, "Is Bobby Lee in it?"
He is not in it. Jimmy O Yang is, and I guess he's from the Philippines then, because he got a huge response in the movie.
And then Patrick Lemire said, Joe Coy is one of those guys that is sort of unknown, yet simultaneously huge. He sells out arenas on some stops. This movie will do well if the budget is reasonable. I just don't understand why it's called Easter Sunday.
Because it takes place on Easter Sunday.
Why didn't they open this at Easter? Would have been huge. People that don't even know who he is would have gone to see Joe Coy Easter Sunday just because the movie is called Easter Sunday. Releasing it in August is dumping it. I think that's a mistake. So
I mean, it's not bad, but it is what it is. It's a comedian's comedy.
Yeah,
it's a movie based on a comedian's stand-up act.
And CD Stein 69 says, sounds like so far Easter Sunday is the best movie reviewed today. I'm okay with Philippine version of My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
We have one more movie.
We got one more movie. We've got actually a bunch of movies we're not going to get to. Unfortunately, we're going to do that on Wednesday. And Zach says, Alan, no, it's Philippine X now. You triggered Flaccid Phoenix. There you go. And there was a comment earlier about way to deal with a troll. I don't care if people disagree with me. I don't care.
Yeah.
You can respectfully disagree with me. When you start labeling me, that's when I say, fuck you. You don't get to label me. You do not get to label me. And no one should label you. Okay? That's how we play here. Kev Burke says, great way to deal with a troll, Chris. Yeah, fuck it. Also great. I'll take his money. So his stupid troll fucking comment. Get out of my fucking chat. We're respectful.
You can still leave more super chats.
You want to disagree with me on movies, disagree with me on takes. Alan and I disagree with each other all the time. But you want to label people and call them out and do this, that's fucking toxic. Not going to happen here. Okay? And I really love you all in the chat. Hail to the chat, except for that asshole. All right, let's go. Let's actually, we're going to pivot because this is the best. This is the best movie. So first of all, and I'm shocked. I am shocked about this, but we're going to do it. I Love My Dad. Now, this is a movie that Alan and I both saw. I've seen it twice. Let me give you the premise and you can look up the trailer. I Love My Dad is about a kid who's sort of meandering in his life. He's in his early 20s. He wants to get into game design, lives with his mom. It's sort of a failure to launch his life, right? But he has this loser dad played by Patton Oswalt. And Patton Oswalt is a complete and utter loser. He's a liar. He's a scam artist. He's not to be trusted. This kid's parents are divorced. And finally, the lead character's name is Franklin. Mm-hmm. The lead character, but what's the actor's name? The actor.
Oh, let me get it.
So the lead character, Franklin, is also the writer, director, and lead actor in this movie. His name is Jim, and I can't pronounce his last name, but we're going to get to it.
Morosini.
What?
Jim Morosini.
Jim Morosini. Okay, so Jim Morosini.
James Morosini.
James Morosini wrote, directed, and stars in this. Plays the son. He's in early 20s, and his dad, played by Patton Oswalt, is a complete prick, an asshole, whatever. So Franklin, the character, unfriends and blocks his dad on Facebook. And already he's kind of limited. His son is limited his contact with his dad because he just cannot stand everything with his dad is a scam. And he blocks his dad on Facebook. So what does Patton Oswalt's character do? What does his dad do? He meets this very attractive woman at a diner, a little small diner, and decides he's going to take her photos from her Facebook account, create a completely different new Facebook account, and he's going to catfish his own son. It's hysterical, cringy. And then what happens is, so his dad, under the auspices of being this incredibly attractive woman, friends his son, starts communicating and chatting with his son, on Facebook, and begins a relationship. And the son falls in love with his dad's catfish character that he's created. It's incredibly creative. The way that they do it, it's really funny. Franklin will be messaging what he thinks is the girl who's super hot, attractive, and fun and whatever. And they take when she texts back, you actually see her talking to him. So in his mind, he's actually talking to her. The way they do this is very clever, and except that they're just messaging, but in his head, he sees her talking to him. But it's really his dad. So they'll intercut between scenes. Like in one scene, he's talking to her and she says, "I'm kissing you now. I'm grabbing your, I'm putting my hand down your pants." And so it's like he's imagining in his head that the beautiful girl, he's making out with the beautiful girl. But in Patton Oswalt, the dad's head, he's making out with his son. And it's showed visually. It's so incredibly clever. It's not, also, by the way, movie's not woke in any way whatsoever. There's nothing woke about this movie. You may have to set aside, again, earlier we were talking about Mark Ruffalo and Mark Hamill and sort of how people are kind of shit posters on social media. And unfortunately, Patton Oswalt is kind of insufferable on social media. If you can divorce yourself from that and just see him as this awful character, it's actually maybe consistent with how he talks on social media. But yeah, which is kind of sucks. Like, because I love Patton Oswalt. Back in the day, his comedy, his specials, I bought his CDs. That's how long I've been following Patton. Like I think he's freaking great. And he's just become one of those people that's been obsessed with politics and just being an asshole online just to be an asshole. It's unfortunate. But if you could put that aside, this is the best movie Patton Oswalt's ever done. This guy, James
Morosini,
and I'm hoping to try to get him on the show next week, is so good in this role. And what's weird about it is, okay, so what happens in the story is he falls for this girl who is his dad. And he's like, "Hey, I want to go meet her," because he finds the diner where she works. And he's like, "I'm going to go meet her at this diner. I want to go meet her." And so then the dad goes on a road trip with his son, Franklin, to go meet the girl that's him. He buys a burner phone. So it's so good. This is the best comedy I've seen this year. It uses social media in an incredibly fun way. Patton Oswalt, best thing he's ever done. He's really good at playing an asshole. Rachel Dratch is in it and plays from SNL. She was remember she would play Debbie Downer. Remember that? She plays Patton Oswalt's girlfriend in the movie, who's kind of like helping him, but unbeknownst to her, she doesn't really know what's going on. And things that are revealed, it's cringe comedy. It's funny as hell. It's based on a true story.
That's the worst part. This is true. This is a true story. This happened.
It's incredibly well written, just incredibly well written. This and it's in theaters this week, and it actually opens at the Alamo Draft House. So if you have an Alamo Draft House near you, there's one in downtown LA, and actually the one in downtown LA, Patton and the director are going to be at one of the screenings for a Q&A. So, Alan, what did you think of I Love My Dad?
Yeah, this was a hard movie to get through.
What? I disagree.
I mean, it is like just the fact that this is a true story, and that everything that happened actually happened. It's a cringe comedy, and it just got really cringy. And halfway through is like, I don't know how much more I can take of this, because this is just wrong. What this father is doing, and just the way his son is getting played. It's not like he's doing it on purpose. He's doing it with all the pure motives possible, but the things that his son is going through, and at the end, it's just going to end badly. Things are going to happen. And you just, that's what I like about this movie, is because you're just so emotionally invested in this story and in this kid, that when things are coming up, your body just tenses up, and you just say to yourself, this cannot be happening. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. And then it plays out. And, it was cringy, but I was engaged. I was so engaged with this movie that, I had to see it through, and it will stay with you for a while.
It's so good. First of all, I plan to buy this movie. It's 90 minutes, which comedies, I feel like really good comedies make them 90 minutes. But if, and the other thing is there's a woman, the woman who plays the love interest, her name is Becca, Claudia Sulewski. You should follow her on Instagram. Claudia Sulewski makes this movie. She's so good in this role because she's playing two versions of herself. She's playing the version of her Becca, which is real. She is a waitress who works at a diner. She's also playing the version of her that is in the version of James, the character Franklin's head, that is his dad. And it's just it's so, there's so many layers to it. This movie reminds me of it has touches of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is one of my favorite romantic movies. It's a great that's a movie that if you're going through a breakup, I really strongly recommend Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. But this movie, it has touches of that because it's also about love, how we perceive love. It's also a sweet father-son story, even with the cringe aspects to it.
And it plays out so well. I mean,
it does.
It takes no shortcuts to get to its ending.
And it goes for it. It goes for it. And there's a sweetness to it. And the ending, I'm not going to ruin the ending. I'm getting chills thinking about the ending.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't see father-son stories like this. This is like a father-son story for now. How do you deal with social media? How do you deal with family and social media and how that works, and divorce and whatnot? And it's also, you feel for Franklin. He's a kid who's kind of a bit directionless, living with his mom. His parents are divorced. He has aspirations of working in the game industry. It's just, it's really good. We're going to give away the digital codes for Minions at the end of the show, probably sometime around 11:15 or so. But let's get to the comments here from people. But I'll just say this: I can't recommend this movie enough. Go see it in a theater if you can. I believe it's out on digital in the next couple weeks, and it's a comedy that uses the biggest complaint you hear from screenwriters now. It's like, it's so hard to write comedies, action movies because of what? Because of cell phones, because of these devices. It creates problems, right? For screenwriters, this uses it in the best possible way. And if it was only a comedy, fine, but it's a comedy that has layers, and it's also about finding love today. And I think
if it's possible, take your dad to see this movie.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Kara says cringy and incest. Not really. Hank VP says this movie has Alan shook. Kara says sounds like fun.
Not since Call Me Brother have I felt this way.
RMFX says this is creepy. Cavatino, Cavalryman Shay, talk about having daddy issues after the reveal. Patrick Lemire says that's a messed up and brilliant premise. It is brilliant. Anonymous says, so Patton is playing himself? And Womp Biscuit says, people trying to troll me. Here we go. I'll label you, Chris. You're one of the best reviewers I've seen in a very long time. Alan is no slouch either. I love Alan. I don't have to agree with Alan. I disagree with Alan a lot, but I respect Alan immensely. Who's going to be Alan? Pro tip, if you're going to be at the Cinequest Film Festival in San Jose, California, Alan is going to be there.
Yeah. Let's meet up.
Is it next weekend or the weekend after?
2 weekends.
2 weeks. Yeah. So, and he'll be doing reports. From the Cinequest Film Festival. Ken Bogus for 10 says, I dislike you, Chris, but here's a $10 donation. I heart Alan.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Love it. Appreciate that. Munchkin says, Alan, is that the Film Threat dog behind you? Yeah. What's the Film Threat dog's name? What's your dog's name?
Her name's Molly. Because she is
named
a party
after,
drug. Yeah,
named after what?
MDMA.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. The Film
We
Threat
named
dog.
all our pets after drugs for some reason.
But look, I cannot recommend this movie enough. It's better than anything we've talked about this weekend. I know I could hear the tone in your voice, Alan, when I asked you about Easter Sunday. You're like, yeah, it's good. When your tone of your voice goes up.
But it's, I've just seen these comedies. They're good. They're lighthearted, good premise, but I really want something deeper and more clever. Crazy Rich Asians would be to me, the pinnacle of these kind of comedies. You're muted.
I saw the trailer for Easter Sunday and it just didn't didn't grab me. And I like Joe Coy. I think his comedies it's okay, but yeah. VDR says Chris and Alan are like the Siskel and Ebert of YouTube. Rarely agree. We agree on when have we agreed?
I love you, Dad. I love my dad.
I love my dad. We
Prey,
agree.
we agreed with Prey.
Yeah, but I like to. Here's the thing I like to hear opinions that differ from mine. I don't like to live in an echo chamber. I like opinions. I want to hear someone I disagree with because it's an opportunity to learn something. So there you go. I love my dad. Strong recommendation. If it's not playing at a theater near you, 100% seek this movie out. I do want to start our contest before we have a special guest joining us in a few minutes. But our contest, we're giving away a Baby Assassins Blu-ray. We're giving away what else? We've got 2
Fandor subscriptions and digital codes. The first ones are going to be the digital codes, right? And then so the hashtag. What's the hashtag, Alan? Film threat giveaway. Don't do it just yet.
Can you post it?
No. Actually, you can do it now. Film threat giveaway in the chat. Hashtag film threat giveaway in the chat.
Cool. All right. So use hashtag giveaway. All you have to do is in the chat post hashtag film threat giveaway. And at the end of the show, we're going to be doing a giveaway after we talk to our special guest that will be joining us momentarily. So, this is the whole thing about Film Threat, and what we've been trying to do is we're all about like, yes, here are the mainstream movies playing at the theaters. We'll give you our honest take on those. At the same time, it is our duty. And it's our mission at Film Threat to tell you about independent films that you need to see. And this one, Gone in the Night, which I believe is available on video on demand. Someone's going to give me the facts here. But Gone in the Night, seek out the trailer. The trailer is actually in the description for this episode. We put a link to the trailer for Gone in the Night. This is an indie thriller that it played at the South by Southwest Film Festival. It stars Winona Ryder, and you got to watch this trailer, because what I love about that, a lot of trailers, especially for thrillers, they kind of give away too much. You're just getting a taste of what this movie's about. Dermot Mulroney is also in this film, and Winona Ryder plays a woman with her boyfriend. They go on this little getaway to an Airbnb, but they find out it's double booked. There's another couple there. They go to play this little fun board game. Winona Ryder's character, she drifts off to bed, and what happens is her boyfriend and the girl that was playing the game with him, they vanished. What happened? They disappeared. That was a quick breakup. She's stunned, devastated. What happened? Where this movie goes, I can't say anything further than that, except that it got a great review on Film Threat. Isn't that right, Alan?
Yes, and we are in the trailer.
Oddly. Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, I just want to give you a taste of what this movie was. Again, check out the trailer for this. Director Eli Horowitz is joining us right now today. Eli, thank you for joining us on the Film Threat Livecast here. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Cool. So what inspired this film? Where did you get this idea? And I encourage everybody to see the trailer. The trailer doesn't ruin the movie. That'll just say, which a lot of trailers do that these days.
Yeah, no, it's always a battle, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, what brought me, a lot of times I kind of need to have kind of two separate ideas and keep playing with them till they interlock. So for this one, it was two things. It was one of just like getting older, sort of being at this age where you can kind of see, you can do the math and see the end, but you're also close enough to sort of wanting to be young. Just dealing with these issues that we're all dealing with in one way or another, whether denying them or obsessing over them or whatever. And then the other thing is that I had bought and fixed up this little cabin in the Redwoods that I would stay at sometimes and I would rent out sometimes. And I was always afraid of accidentally double booking someone, because that's something I'm definitely capable of blundering into. And in fact, that is the cabin where we filmed half this movie. to really sort of do the most with our limited budget. So it was kind of those two kind of lofty ideas and very mundane ideas, and finding a way to fit them together.
Well, I have to ask, first of all, Winona Ryder's had a resurgence, right? She plays Spock's mother in the Star Trek series, or the first Star Trek film, 2009 by J.J. Abrams. She's on Stranger Things. Everyone's singing her praises. How did you get Winona Ryder to be in this movie? And how awesome is it that she's done? I mean, from Beetlejuice, she's done so much in her career. I think, at least myself, I've grown up watching her, and to see she looks stunning in this film. I don't think she has anything to worry about, but like, what was it like to work with her? How did you get her to be in the film? And just tell us about working with Winona.
I mean, how we got her is a mystery to me too. I just wrote a note, to her manager and sent the script. There were a couple ins that we had. One was, so we shot this in these towns in sort of Western Sonoma County, Cazadero and Petaluma specifically. And both of these are spots where she actually grew up, and she went to high school in Petaluma. And so some of our locations were even places where she hung out as a teenager. So that gave it a little bit of a
how do we lose? Chris, you're muted.
And
we got some internet issues here.
I don't know how much this helps or hurts, but I guess for original.
Oh yeah, we're having internet issues at the moment.
All right. Hopefully Eli will get his internet fixed here. We've got a lot of questions in the chat. Once the internet, you may want to Eli, you may want to leave and come back. I'll type in the private chat, but we're got some comments and questions for Eli when he returns. Maybe we get a message to Eli to leave and come back. That usually fixes spotty internet. Also, I'm not gonna lie. I used to share my internet with my neighbor. I did. They would Venmo me every month half the bill. Now my neighbors, we're not able to. Oh, here comes Eli back. Let's get Eli back here. Hey, it happens. Getting Eli. Oh, we have him.
Got it. All right. Two people doing the same thing. All right.
Cool. Hey, sorry about that, Eli. You were saying
it's my fault. Was that adding to the thriller experience?
All good. Yes. What happened to the director?
What happened to me? I know.
But tell us about working with Winona and you mentioned Petaluma.
Well, yeah, I mean, so she's from this little town, Petaluma, where we filmed, and then also her last name is not originally Ryder; it was actually Horowitz. No relation or anything. So great. I don't know how much either of these things matters. I was using whatever in I had, but I don't know. We sent the script, and then 4 days later, I just got this text at like 11 at night that said, "My dude, it's Winona. I love your script. Let's do it." And then so from there on, we were off to the races. But it's really exciting to have her because I wanted someone, as you said, we all kind of grew up alongside her, and for a movie that's kind of about, again, not to make it sound too dry or heady, but it's about that passage of time. It's about sort of confronting yourself through the decades. I thought it was interesting to have someone in her, and also with Dermot Mulroney, who, we had seen at all these different ages, and it also makes you think about yourself at all these different ages. And then to combine them with these younger stars, with Brianne Shu and Owen Teague, who did such an amazing job, who almost were those same kind of actors 30 years ago, it added, I think, an interesting element to the movie.
I was going to say, I wanted to mention how strong the cast is. For a minute, I didn't recognize Dermot Mulroney. He definitely did a different look for himself. And Brianna is so good. Like, there's this, there are moments you're like, what is going on? I don't want to ruin it. I'm saying the trailer is just a taste of what's really going on in this film. You're going to love it. There's over 300 people watching live as we're doing this. We have a lot of comments. Do you mind taking some questions and comments from our audience?
No problem.
Let's go in. Holy Hand Grenade says, Winona, I'm in. Shelby AC says, I heart Winona. And Munchkin says, how do they manage to get Winona Ryder in the movie? I think you
just write a note. Write a good note. That's all you can. Write a good note and hope for the best.
And there you go. Jack Ripper says, "Hey Eli, greetings, Solomon Thornton." Dempsey says, what was your favorite moment that happened behind the scenes? It's always fun things that happen behind the scenes making a movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There were fun things and there were disasters. It's always a mix of both. I mean, it was fun just sort of being in the middle of the woods, because this was a COVID movie. We filmed it in August of 2021, so it's very much still an issue. So at least just kind of have all these beautiful trees and woods and stuff to kind of run around in, to at least feel free in that way. That was a real benefit. Yeah.
Cool. All right. More questions and comments here. Retro Nerd Girl says, this premise sounds intriguing. Munchkin asks, how long did it take to make the movie?
Well, we had 19 days of shooting. It was like probably, to the full thing, me and my writing partner, Matt Derby, wrote it for 6 months or so. Then we got Winona on. Then it was another year of just kind of waiting and logistics and getting schedules to match up. Then we filmed it in just 19 days, then maybe 3 months of post, and we were at South by Southwest.
Nice. South by Southwest is one of my favorite festivals. That and the programming at Slam Dance, oddly, I think a lot of those movies are very punk rock. And this movie just Beetlejuice. Someone just says Beetlejuice. Kara asks, are you a relative of Anthony Horowitz?
I am not. He's the more successful Horowitz.
Okay. And then how rigorously did you stick to the script while shooting? Asked Jackie Ripper.
Pretty rigorous. We certainly played with lines and scenes and stuff, but the movie is kind of, as much as it's a thriller, it's kind of more of a puzzle box, So we kind of needed to keep at least keep aligned with the overall structure and the function of each scene.
I have to ask you this silly question because I see this quite a bit, but at South by Southwest, the film was called The Cow. What was that discussion like to ultimately change the title? I assume it's marketing is a big part of it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Once you sell to a distributor, it's kind of a collaboration in some ways. They're running the show. And so I think, I like The Cow because you don't really kind of know what you're getting into or what kind of movie it is or even what it means. Understandably, there's another perspective where you want the title and the poster and everything to tell you exactly what kind of movie it is. So was
there a lot of wrestling between you and the distributor, or was it pretty?
There was some wrestling. I'm still alive, but there was some wrestling. Sure.
Well, you're lucky it's not called A Gone in the Night. I can't tell you how many indie filmmaker friends of mine are like, can you just have your movie start with the letter A? We don't care
for alphabetizing.
Yes.
Oh my God. See, you never know what kind of blessings you take for granted. Yeah. Or just AAA gone, right?
Exactly.
Really
exactly.
Or underscore.
Patrick Lemire is curious. Was it a physical note to Winona? Paper is underrated.
That would have been a good idea, but no, I wouldn't even have known where to send it.
Right.
But it wasn't typed out. It was a PDF and not an email.
Oh, there you go. Rec Films Montana says, so was COVID the biggest challenge or was it something else?
COVID was more of a hassle than a challenge. It was a hassle and it takes I think 10 to 20% of your budget is just for all the testing and logistics. So it made it hard. It made it sweaty. It made it less fun. I think the challenge is just, any kind of indie movie, our budget was around $1 million. I'm maybe not supposed to say whatever. We had limited budget. And so just like everything, getting locations, just having enough time, all these things are a challenge. But, once you're in it, it just feels like problems to solve. You're not quite conscious of the limitations. And again, it was so baked in from the beginning. This is going to be kind of an indie movie. So let's do it in my own little, house I bought for $161,000, and place it there, limited number of characters, simple sets for the most part. So to get the most bang for our buck.
We're having some. Could you hear that popping and the static?
You might have a connection issue with your mic.
Might have a connection issue. Cavatino Cavalryman Shea says, "Great job engineering for rerouting power to the communication array." So there you go. Let's see. We got a lot more questions here. Goober says, "A cow gone in the night." That's probably would have been a terrible, a terrible thing. Holy Hand Grenades asks, for Eli, do you believe in Bigfoot? This is important.
It depends what you mean by Bigfoot.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. Jack D. Ripper asks, what other directors, films, or TV shows influenced this film?
Well, one kind of lesser known one that was a big kind of influence or inspiration was this movie from about 5 years ago called Border. It was this Danish-Iranian movie about this, I don't want to give too much away, but this kind of very strange woman who worked as a border control agent. And it had this mix where it just didn't really care what genre it was willing to dip in and out of them and have a sense of humor and a sense of strangeness and a sense of magic and also a real heart. To borrow from genres without being bound by a genre. And so I thought that was really inspirational movie.
I've also seen Border. That movie is disturbing. That
Sure.
movie is so disturbing, but I remember seeing the trailer for that and thinking, I have to see this because I don't know what's going on. But you're right. It's not a horror film. It's not a thriller, but it's got little aspects of a bunch of different genres. I really love that film.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of movie that I love the most is where, I love seeing a movie without knowing what it's going to be because I feel we know so much going in and you can basically feel the first 85 minutes and you're just wondering what happens in the last 10. That movie, especially if you know little, just let it unfurl. And that's kind of the same thing in a different way we were trying to do with Gone in the Night. Make something where, it seems like it's going to be one kind of movie and then it pulls back. It seems like it's going to be another kind and it pulls back. And it's constantly kind of raising expectations, deflating them, and going in new directions. At least that's the goal.
Dempsey asked, what was the hardest part from going from a podcast to a film of this magnitude? Did you do a podcast?
Well, I did the podcast Homecoming that became the TV show Homecoming.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
No problem. So that was my biggest, those were the stepping stones. I was also the co-showrunner of the TV show, so I learned at least then about production. But yeah, there's just so much more to think about. Fortunately, I had this great crew, especially my DP, David Boland, who really helped kind of ease the transition. But there's just more. There's just so much more to think about. So yeah, it's easy. It's easy that when you kind of just controlling a couple things, but yeah.
Gotcha. And as we wrap up here, a really good question. Flaccid Phoenix asks, what is your future dream project that you want to work on?
I don't know. I'm still dreaming. I still need to sleep and have some dreams. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, because I feel like I've stumbled into this in a lot of ways. I was writing and designing books for about 10 years. Then I was doing kind of weird experimental apps for 5 or 6 years. Then these podcasts, then the TV show, then the movie. So kind of one thing has just sort of led to another. And I really had a plan. So I'm waiting for something to descend upon me, I guess.
And you didn't plan necessarily on being a homeowner renting out an Airbnb. That was not in the plan.
Not in the plan. But now I think I sell it out for, tours and stuff, right?
Right.
You have the full, Gone the Night fan experience. You could spend a night and get terrorized.
That's actually kind of cool. It is, location is such a big part of filmmaking. I think when I always say to filmmakers, the two things that add production value, location and cast. And you have that. I don't know what you made the movie for, but it looks like an expensive thriller. Again, I don't know how much you made it for, but because of, just all those aspects, it's a perfect example of that. The film is now out now on video on demand. I know it did a limited theatrical release, but it is available now.
Correct.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure we got that fact out there. Eli, thank you so much for joining us on the Film Threat Livecast. Congrats on this film. And for your next movie, please promise you'll come back.
Of course. I'll come back even between it. Have you want to talk. If you're lonely, whatever, just call me up.
That's great. And the movie is, you guys have to check this out. Download it. See it. It's VOD. Check out Gone in the Night, especially Winona Ryder has been so good. Stranger Things season 4. She's fantastic. And just, she's so great in this. It's like you wrote it for her. It's perfect.
I sort of did. Yeah.
Great. All right, Eli, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for spending time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Later. Bye. What a great dude, man. God, love it. Love it.
Yeah. I remember seeing the trailer for it when we saw that Jessica Chastain movie. And there we are. We're right there in the credits. Michael Talladega did the review and we're quoted prominently, and I love that.
All right, that's cool. Hey, love it. But I mean, that's also like the beauty of like South by Southwest, which is a real discovery film festival. South by and Slamdance are probably among my favorites. Sundance used to be. I can't say that Sundance has the kind of weight that it used to. I think we've seen a lot of duds come out of Sundance, but I feel like when you look at the taste of the programmers, I'm a bigger fan of South by and Slamdance. Those are my personal favorites.
I mean, our conversations coming out of both are very different. And I think we enjoy talking about what we see at South by much more than we do about Sundance.
Well, let's do this giveaway, Alan. People have been people in the chat have been very patient with us. And we'll sit here and chat with you while we're doing the giveaway. And
it's still not too late to enter. It's hashtag FilmThreat giveaway. I think the best thing to do is, if you're a winner, to go to filmthreat.com/contact. And kind of give us what you're looking for. If you want the Baby Assassin DVD Blu-ray, you have to be in the United States. Give us your address, and we'll just kind of give us the order of preference, and we'll give it out based on the order of winners.
You're making this more complicated than
I know, but we're giving away three things. We're giving away three things, and I want to make sure you get what you want.
Why don't you get it set up here, Alan? Patrick Lemire says, thank Eli. I love this guy already. Scott Slaughterbeck says, another really good interview. Thank you. We try to bring on I bring on filmmakers that Eli pretty much confirmed he believes in Bigfoot, guys. Love that. No, it's and then thank you, Eli. Seems like a good luck in the future. Great guy, says Jack D. Ripper. Dom Taco, Eli seems like a good human. This is the thing. This is my personal agenda with doing this, is basically to my personally what I'm trying to do. I want to inspire other people to go out and make movies. Okay. And that filmmakers, just like this guy, he bought a place in the middle of the woods, which he turned into an Airbnb. Did this show and then went out and made a little indie movie that played South by, and now you can get it on video on demand and stars freaking Winona Ryder. So there you go. Wait, quick questions here. Bethel Game says, what do you think about the Dust short films? Love those. I love the Dust short films. They're awesome. Let's do the giveaway right now. Alan, go for it. Now, let me also put up a banner here. So if your name is called, if you are selected, all you got to do is go to filmthreat.com/contact and just tell us, and it's going to go in order, right? You're going to say, I want the Baby Assassins Blu-ray, or put the order of your preference of the giveaway. And we've only got one Blu-ray. We have 2 codes for Minions, and we have 3 more codes for Fandor. So we have 6 things to give away. So we'll select like 6 names and then contact us at filmthreat.com/contact. And I will email you your digital code, or Alan is going to mail you the Baby Assassins Blu-ray. Alan, who's our first winner?
All right, let's do this. And the first winner is, let me make this bigger.
Square it up so we can see. Maybe a little smaller.
It's Jack D. Ripper.
Jack D. Ripper. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Let's get our next winner.
Okay, hold on. Let me get these
You
names
pick 6 winners. All right.
All
All you got to do, contact me, filmthreat.com/contact to redeem your prize.
All right. And look, it's still not too late to enter. So hashtag FilmThreat giveaway.
Right.
Here we go. And the winner is Bear Down Adam. I think you won last time too.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Next winner.
I know we need music or something.
Should we have music? We can do music. No, we can do music.
Okay, the winner is Satan West. Satan, you are a winner. All right. 3 more?
3 more.
All right. And the winner is, okay, Satan, you only get 1 win. So here we go.
Okay, we got to pick someone else. Satan West already won.
Yeah. All right, and going to Jay Gar.
Jay Gar is also a winner. 2 more, right? I put
2
some
more.
music up. I put some music up for him. A couple other things that'll be kind of fun. I wanna show some people some stuff after we finish the contest.
Okay, Rick
Who's our
T.
next winner?
Rick T is the next winner. All right, and then the last one goes to and Zach's. Congratulations, everybody.
Love it.
right.
All right. Well, congratulations to all our winners. Contact me. You have to contact me today. So contact me today. Go to that filmthreat.com/contact. Say, I won. I would like X. I want the Baby Assassins Blu-ray. I'm going to go in order. So whoever emails first, you get to pick what you want. I'm just going to go in order. We've got the Baby Assassins Blu-ray. You have to be in the continental United States. We've got 2 codes for Minions Rise of Gru and 3 codes for Fandor digital subscriptions. I do want to talk about 2 quick things. Flaccid Phoenix has limited time to join us and will not be able to produce the show on an ongoing. He's going to be a part of the show. Flaccid Phoenix is never going away. If I have anything to say about it, it's never going away. Flaccid Phoenix, shout out to him. Subscribe to the Flaccid Phoenix's channel. But we are looking for a producer to help us with the show that would be in moderation and helping us set up streams like on StreamYard. Flaccid Phoenix will be training this person because Flaccid Phoenix set the bar very high. Flaccid Phoenix, you set the bar very high. And while Flaccid Phoenix will continue to be involved, we are looking for someone to help us produce. So if you would like, go to filmthreat.com/contact, and I will get back with you. And we need to find someone in the next couple weeks. The other thing is I briefly mentioned a contest. Okay. I briefly mentioned like, oh yeah, we'd like to do like a contest. You know, we want to put some more things. We're going to do a t-shirt contest. I briefly mentioned like, hey, we should do like some new Film Threat shirts. You know, we have these shirts that are inspired by our logo. This is obviously from the movie Fight Club. It's inspired by that, but we want to take like classic movie logos or classic movie sayings, and we want to kind of reframe them and make them Film Threat related. And without even asking directly, I've had Glenn Brown, John Hawley, and Mason reach out to me and send some designs. I'm going to show you at least one of these right now. I want to share with you just to give you an idea of exactly what we're trying to do. Check this out. It's pretty simple. It's you take a classic logo that we've seen and you just make it say Film Threat. Isn't that cool?
And we got nipple plungers too.
We have the nipple you noticed that. But it's so people have been, so John, Glenn, and Mason have been sending me these, and I'm like, dudes, like, hold off. These are too good. If you want to be a part of this, we're going to be offering prize packages. And then what we want to do is we want to take our Film Threat shop, and for the fall, we want to have a whole bunch of new Film Threat t-shirts, at least 10 new designs. If you go to shop.filmthreat.com, you can check out the designs that we already have there. Some really cool stuff, but oh my God, we have gotten some just like amazing new designs here. I want to share a couple of the other ones that came through. This one is really cool. Let's see if this, do you see now? Shoot, I have to unshare. Let me do this. I'm going to unshare that one. I'm going to unshare that. I'm going to share a new one. So these are really cool. And just like, if you'd like, you can go to filmthreat.com and send me some designs, and then we're going to show them to you so we can judge them. Does that make sense? And then we'll see like what t-shirt designs do people want to see, and we'll share. Here's another one that really struck my fancy. Check that one out. Based on ET, it's FT. Come on. I like these. So we'll be able to, we're going to we're going to pick the best designs and we're going to put them in our Film Thread shop. But already, without even much prompting, we've got like amazing designs here. So, wow. And Glenn just sent me some amazing stuff too. But we're going to wrap it up here, Alan. There's stuff that we didn't get to that I really can't wait to talk about next week. There's one thing we should do right now. I don't know if we should do this because it might get this live stream demonetized. So 2 quick things. I saw a movie. We're going to talk about it next Wednesday. It's called Wife-like. It's called Wife-like. It's like a Stepford Wives exploitation movie. It's on Paramount Plus. I can't wait to tell you about Wife-like. I'm going to be telling you about that next week. But also on the Marvel front, okay, on the Marvel front, there is a video that has come out, and it's in the private chat there, Flaccid Phoenix. You'll see it. You can copy and paste this. And what it is if you it's a YouTube channel called Ordinary Adventures. Peter Sciaretta and his girlfriend, they go off on all these adventures. They give you travel advice. They do food reviews. It's if you are someone who likes to travel and whatnot, and you'll get a lot of advice. I've discovered things like the Knott's Berry Farm Food Festival from them. They review all the different food options. I enjoy their channel. Their reviews are not particularly hard hitting. Let me just say that. Okay, Ordinary Adventures, they like pretty much everything, but you can kind of read between the lines and go, okay, I know if I would like that or not, but they're very wildly positive, and that's totally fine. So they went to this cruise ship where they then went to on the cruise ship, they went and had this sort of Marvel dinner experience that showed, I don't even know how to show this to you. Are we going to get in trouble? Are we going to get in trouble for this?
Depends on what their content is. As long as
they're basically filming off of the screen. I don't know. Flaccid Phoenix, should we be doing this?
Are they filming a trailer or are they?
They're filming the video that's during, and what it is, here's what's interesting about it. It's basically the Avengers. So Ant-Man is in it. The Wasp is in it. Ms. Marvel is in it. Captain America is in it. They have this adventure, and it's sort of a precursor to what we're going to see. So do we want to watch this? Does the chat want to watch this? And let me just say this. The reason it kind of came to mind is it looks super cringe. It looks so bad. If this is what the future of Marvel is going to be, it's pretty awful. I immediately sent it to the folks at FNT, and I think that they're going to be watching it tonight. Should we watch it? I'm going to leave it up to the chat.
Yeah. I mean, is it a promotional video or is it?
It's not a promotional video. It is.
Yeah, I think you're good in showing it from.
It's a piece of entertainment that is on a Disney Cruise Line, showing the Avengers having an adventure.
Yeah, I think we're okay monetarily.
Are we okay? And do we want to do this? Chat, do we want to do this? Yes. Okay, Jagar, our winner, is a couple quick comments here. Hey, nipple runner, plunger runner. Alan's going to get that shirt for sure.
Yeah, I will get that shirt.
Chris is in the basket and Alan is driving the bike for that one design. Cool. All right. So here we go. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this. I'm going to skip around the video. Okay. I'm going to skip around the video, but let's start here. And should I turn up the audio like all the way? Let me turn up the audio here all the way. And I'm just going to share screen. We're going to watch this. All right. Which is a good opportunity for me to run to the bathroom. So here's the sneak peek of this. This is the Worlds of Marvel restaurant. Okay. This is on the Disney Cruise Line. They put a ton of money into this. I think if we mute ourselves, we may need to mute ourselves, Alan, okay, while the video plays. Is that right, Flaccid Phoenix? Okay, we're going to watch this together. So this is, you've sat down to dinner on the cruise line. You're about to eat dinner, and there's a show that takes place. And the video is part of the show. So I'm just going to mute myself. We're going to sit here and play it.
And hope Van Dyne.
You need triple check? All right, thank you. You know what? I need to breathe, find my chi. I just need 15 minutes to. Hi, I'm Scott Lang. But you might know me as Ant-Man.
And I am Hope Van Dyne.
Look, before we start, let me address the elephant in the room. I've heard a lot of chatter out there asking why I didn't shrink down, go in, and kill Thanos in a really creative way. First of all, gross. Secondly, it's much more complicated than that. Allow me to explain.
If only we had the time. Anyway, tonight, through the power of quantum science, we will show you how together we can change the world.
Yeah. Now, look, don't worry, kids. Quantum science sounds overwhelming, but trust me, it is.
These are quantum cores, cutting-edge technology that for the first time allows us to specifically target our PIM particles to shrink or grow just about anything.
Please don't get any crumbs on it.
When we give you the direction, you push the buttons on your cores, and they send a signal to the regulator here, which in turn remotely targets an object to shrink or grow.
Easy, right? I'll show you. Let's shrink something already.
Let's do it.
All right, I
Come
got
on.
this. I got it. Because I couldn't fit it under the bed.
What exactly is that?
Oh, this. Like this? I made this. It's a swan.
Adorable that you think you made a swan.
Anyway, I want to shrink this suitcase and the swan to make it easier to take home.
Well, making it smaller would make it better. Friday, initiate power-up sequence.
Target acquired. Quantum cores are online. Prepare to push your buttons.
Oh, ready? In 3, 2, 1, activate. Pretty sweet, right?
Ooh, stop.
Oh. Oh, what is that?
That is your talisman.
Oh.
So this goes on for a bit, and they have like this little comedy thing happening with like growing things larger, smaller, whatever. And then things get a little wild. I could skip ahead to that unless we want to keep watching it. This goes on for like maybe 15 minutes.
Oh, I
So-
think we're good.
What's that?
I feel like we're good, but
Oh, should we keep watching? Should we keep watching? Chat, keep watching, or do we skip ahead to the action scenes?
yeah. I mean, apparently this is Marvel Day at Sea, so I don't know that it's a full cruise, but I think it's a special, a single cruise amongst
Yeah.
the natural itineraries.
Okay, so people are saying skip, or go ahead, or keep playing. We'll skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
it's like a
definitely-
long. Someone said it's like a long outtake. I'm gonna skip ahead to where it gets. They talk about the food, okay, whatnot. We're gonna skip ahead to the to that stuff. Let's get to the part where it actually gets to some action scene here. They're just talking about the food, whatever. Here's where it gets kind of out of control. So let's skip to that part right about here, and I'm gonna play.
Friday,
Our airspace has been breached.
Oh, no.
punch up the top dick.
That's an ad.
It's a Disney Plus commercial.
So what am I like, a guardian or something?
Oh yeah, that's what you want during your meal.
Dispatching ant camps.
So it's up. Is that
Captain America! Captain Falcon! Captain, what do I call you now? Sam works. Call me Captain. How's the cushy cruise gig go? Trying to chicken tenders. They were chasing.
what are you doing all the way up here?
We're headed back to base and we noticed a spike in high energy levels at your location. Red Wing, give us a bird's eye view.
They look like
Flying robots.
This is what you want in your meal?
An android obsessed with destroying the Avengers and wiping out all of mankind.
You must be here for the quantum course. Well, he sure isn't here for the chicken tenders. And later, we're going to have a serious talk about bringing quantum tech to a cruise ship. Look at this crowd. You try keeping their attention. Hey, look, that guy's still eating.
Peter?
The kid now hold them all while you do it. Kid?
This marvel is teaming up with the Star Spangled. The muscle next. Throw down on the high seas, baby. Shoot. I can't.
At ease. I mean, take it easy. And what did I say about the boat captain jokes?
That should make them a better chance, I guess.
Just stay sharp and watch it.
Oh my god!
Oh, what? What is it?
I want to fly sick. Like good sick, not like seasick kind of sick, which I'm
Oh my god.
totally feeling right now. Oh, I mentioned I've never been on a cruise ship before.
Young lady, we have to work on your focus. You're an Avenger now.
Okay, so this is what we can expect.
Oh my god.
You're basically getting a preview of what Avengers movies are going to be going forward. We're going to keep playing this. I want you all to see it because I regularly watch Ordinary Adventures, like I just want to I want advice. I want advice on traveling, right? This is a lot of this stuff I wouldn't actually do. I would not be caught dead on a Disney cruise ship, but I kind of get a taste of what the experience is like. Okay, I'm happy I missed it, but you got to watch the rest of this video because it's crazy where this goes. This is your taste of Marvel Phase 5 and 6, right? This is you're getting a taste of it now. I'm shocked how much, because they do these cheesy videos when you go on theme park rides and whatnot. It's fine. I've never seen this much production value put into one of these videos. It's kind of insane. This is where it kind of gets off the rails. So I'm going to mute myself. We're going to keep playing it, and then we're going to go to your comments and see what you think. Okay. So everyone, are we ready for this? All right.
In training.
Wait, do I have to go credit? Is there like a special patch or a uniform or something? Oh my god.
And no stay early.
Oh, stay early again.
That was awesome.
Thanks, but that's kind of amazing.
You know what happens to people in movies that say that, right? Oh, I need backup.
On my way, Cap. Get that regulator fixed.
Promise it'll work. Come on.
Do you want to take a selfie? Secure the brake, kid. Okay. We'll chat later.
So this is where they keep the children.
That's a weird opening line. Be fast!
Seriously?
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
Oh, get out of my way!
Oh no, he's coming.
Watch my six!
Getting all the crap up here! What's the play?
Hang tight! Contingency plans on the way.
Funny who you run into on a cruise. Welcome to the party, Carol. Hey, Hope. Sam. Give me a second.
Sure.
At the rate you were going, you would have been here all night.
You know, you could have paced things out, give the folks a little bit more of a show.
Nah, I think I'm ready for dessert. And I've got a date with some pre-missiles on the other side of the galaxy.
Have fun with your space stuff, and thanks for the assist, Amos.
You're welcome, Cap. Oh my god, is that Captain Marvel? Digital binary?
What is that?
Photon blast?
I don't know what those are.
Came in totally clutched, didn't she? Classic Captain Marvel.
Hope.
Scott.
Shield barrier activated.
Look, hypothetically, let's say that Ultron absorbed the regulator. Could I weaponize the quantum cores to target him?
Technically, yes. If you adjust the wave frequency, Scott, what's going on?
Oh, that'd be nice. Hypothetical, just making conversation. Thanks, you're the best.
Scott! Warning! Shield barrier failure imminent.
Friday.
I'm pretty certain that was not James Spader's voice. If you go back and listen to that, it was definitely not James Spader's voice. Okay. They always get like these sound-alikes. I know a couple voice actors that do sound-alikes. Definitely not James Spader. That was Brie Larson though.
Yeah.
And
I know why they got away from all the OG characters, because they would either want way too much money or they would just never do this.
Exactly. So it just shows how boring of a character Captain Marvel is. She comes in, but she just comes in, solves it all. Just like, okay, we could have done more of a show, but I just solved it. Got to go to another end of the galaxy and save the universe again. Like, okay. I really feel like her character, it more comes down to just, I think she's miscast, but that's all I'll say. But okay.
And they're selling the new Avengers movie in Phase 6. So
this kind of feels. This is basically telling you what the Avengers is going to be going forward. We'll watch the rest of this video and then we're going to go to comments.
No, I mean, are we getting somewhere good? I think that's what people want to know.
All right. Well,
is there a payoff somewhere?
Here's the climactic finale, folks.
Okay.
Target every core at Ultron.
It'll take a minute.
I'll buy us some time. All right, people, it's hero time. When I give the signal, smash your buttons. And if I don't make it back, I'll end this mission. Hey, middle hand! No!
You annoying little pest.
Friday, come on now!
Done! Target acquired.
Hit your buttons now!
We did it! Come here. It's over already?
I just took down a giant robot. That guy over there still eating? Yeah, he'll not. Hey Scott, what's your status? What's my status? Super cool. Took down Ultron one-on-one.
What? He had help.
I did have help. Well done. Thanks, Cap. We're all clear on the deck, so we'll head back to base. Hey kid, good job tonight. You're on cleanup duty.
I have curfew tonight. So cool.
Oh God. Okay.
Thanks, Chris. That was great.
Here's some comments. It looks like a Disney Plus show. The CG was better than She-Hulk. The CG for that like cruise ship video show is better than the She-Hulk, what we've seen of She-Hulk so far. I don't know what to say. Alan, you got your check from Disney. You must have loved it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was great. And my family is all booked and ready to go. Thank you, Disney, for allowing us to go. And I can't wait till our plant-based meal comes so that we can enjoy this in style.
There you go. I have a problem with the I don't have a problem with Sam Wilson being Captain America. I have a problem with the fact that it's not realistic. Here's the thing. He doesn't have super strength. Did I miss something? He's just a guy with wings that can fly. The other thing is Captain America's costume, talking about Steve Rogers, Captain America, it was a practical costume. He had a helmet, right? I think that the Sam Wilson Captain America costume looks terrible. I think it looked terrible in the comics. I think it looks terrible in this video. It looks like something like Ice Capades. It looks like an Ice Capades costume. It looks ridiculous. It's also not practical. The only part, he exposes his mouth, which is fine. cool with that. You got to talk, whatever. But his head is exposed. Like, wouldn't you want a practical helmet? If you're flying on a thing, you could look, if I'm riding my bicycle, I'm wearing a helmet outside, right? And Captain America, Sam Wilson, Captain America, the only thing exposed is the thing that if you just hit it, he would die because he's just a regular human. Let's go to the comments here.
The issue with Captain America is not necessarily that it's Sam Wilson or the costume, but ultimately it becomes, how do they define America? You know, what does Captain America stand for, and what is his feelings about America? And if you've been reading Marvel Comics a lot lately, you know, or even Superman, it's the Truth, Justice, American Way. You know, America is not exactly on half of the country's, you know, up with America list, so to speak.
Well, let's see the comments here. We have Zach says hashtag do better. And 228, that's 228? Wait, 2?
Yes.
Did
Ant-Man 218.
Yeah, did Ant-Man just tell us to slap that like button and subscribe? I don't know. Too much chemistry, says Ratzel. Patrick Lemire says the Averagers. Jinx says Captain Karen is here to save us. Solomon Thornton says stop the tort. Wilhelm cringe, says Dempsey. JTP RX, please, I hope this is not the future of the MCU. Dude, you just, I mean, dude. I say dude. When I say dude, I mean male, female, whatever. Dude could be anybody. You just saw it. I feel like you just saw it. That is Captain Marvel interacting with the new Captain America, interacting with Ms. Marvel, interacting with legacy character Ant-Man, if Ant-Man could be considered a legacy character. But there you go. How many writers worked on this dialogue? Because says Cavatino, Cavalryman Shea. Nick Decker says this is what happens when a giant corporation buys things like Marvel. They will bleed it until it's dead. Rumble Hotep says Brie Larson can only get work as Captain Marvel's stand now. That's true. Patrick Lemire says Disney took the pro-America part out of Walt Disney's welcome speech at the parks. F them forever. That's true.
Yeah.
They
literally... I heard it's going to be now Disney World and no longer Walt Disney World.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard that's in the plans.
Yeah, it's so annoying. CD Stein 69 says cringe to the nth power. Please, no, sorry, I got that comment. Commander Crichton says, please turn into the Poseidon Adventure. Yes, sink the ship. Zach says, oh, I hope Falcon applies for a loan. Now that would be a Marvel moment. Yeah, that was from the series. I didn't finish watching that show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I never finished.
I'll be honest, the Captain America speech at the end by Sam Wilson was pretty good. Not what I expected it would be.
Alan, it was great having you on the show. No, I kid. Alan, I kid.
Do we have comments about this, by the way? About these shenanigans?
RMFX says, I feel seen. No wonder people get sick in cruises, says Jinx. Cringe, says Rec Films Montana. And Derek Douglas says, I'm being sick right now. Captain Falcon America, says Dacron 4. Matt W says, Walt loved this country more than his kids. Oh, yeah, it's kind of sad to think that, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you just because it popped on my radar. I wanted to see what your thoughts were. This is the future of the MCU. They've set it up in Marvel Phase 4, and there you go. I feel like what's going to happen. It's interesting, this news. Alan, you're getting a lot of notifications.
I know, it's I had River up because
maybe close that window. Look, people are saying do better, Alan, says Cyfix.
I would say be better.
Please do better, Alan. Do better. There you go. But I just, it just feels like a Disney Plus show. They're all like, one of the cool things about at least, the first 3 phases is the characters did not get along. It wasn't all happiness and sweetness and respect and Civil War, right? Like, yeah. And Alan, you better show nipples now. Okay. Well, you don't have to ask too loudly for that. Like, here, we'll give you a new. There you go. Alan, you're stunning and brave. So there you have it. Look, there's your preview. I feel like it's going to be very it feels very Disney now. Yeah. Am I wrong, Alan? What are your thoughts?
But the thing is, it works for Disney characters, not for the Avengers. Don't worry, Star Wars is coming. They're coming for you.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Want to thank you for spending your afternoon, evening, morning with us, wherever you are in the world. Want to thank you. I want to thank Flaccid Phoenix. Subscribe to Flaccid Phoenix's channel. Check out his videos there. He's got a great review of RRR. It's Gore approved. And we'll be back next Wednesday to talk about a lot of new indie movies and whatever's happening in the news. Alan, anything that I forgot?
Visit filmthreat.com for latest in indie film reviews. We'll have a few big studio films.
Holy fucking shit, these reviews are delicious.
They're totally delicious. Alan
Absolutely.
does a lot of reviews on the site. They're very delicious.
Yeah. And we have a lot of people, and we have a lot of other writers as well.
Cool. All right. I want to thank you all for spending time with us. We'll be back next Wednesday afternoon and a week from today for more reviews. Next week, we're going to be talking about the movie Fall, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I am trying to get the director of I Love My Dad on the show. But we've got some really amazing guests. And we're going to be talking about, this is a little preview. We're going to be talking about the movie Alex's War, which is a documentary about Alex Jones, and the director of Alex's War is going to be here next week. Okay. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for next week is going to be a big week for us. Even though there's not a lot of big Hollywood releases, indie films and filmmakers will be here. I thank you for spending time with us. Alan, what do you want to say?
Let's get out of here.